It's time for high school sports on the NCWLIFE channel. Today's broadcast of high school sports on the NCWLIFE channel is presented by Alignment Pros, Automoca, Color FX, Global Car Care, One Way Construction, and the Windmill Restaurant. NCWLIFE channel's coverage is also brought to you by Charter College and the Walkabout Grill. Now let's go live for all the action for tonight's coverage of high school sports on your home for local sports, the NCWLIFE channel.
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to a very special evening here at the Apple Bowl along with Grant Olson. I'm Eric Granstrom, and we have homecoming tonight, but it's more of a homecoming than you might think. We have the state champion football team from 1948 from Wenatchee High School, and I'm going to have these guys introduce themselves. All right, gentlemen, introduce yourselves to the fans.
Don Kellogg, number 80. I played guard for Wenatchee High School. Milt Bohart, number 44.
What position were you, Milt?
Right half.
Right half.
Sam Rail, number 20, and place kicker.
Okay.
Gary Gloin, number 4, left guard.
Laurie Holland, number 3, center.
Tom Reedinger, 41, quarterback.
Now, kids at home, this is how you want to look 70 years after the fact. Milt, tell me about that game back in 1948 where you guys played on Thanksgiving. And not only did you guys play a team in Seattle, but you played on TV.
Well, we did, and it was a new experience for any of us because it was not obviously AstroTurf or even grass. It was all sand because they played, all Seattle teams played the same Memorial Stadium. So we weren't smart enough to take an extra uniform. West Seattle had changed the uniforms at the halftime, so we learned something.
I understand it was a typical Western Washington Thanksgiving day where it was raining, it was windy, it was dark, it was kind of a miserable day.
The other notable thing is that we're told that this was the first televised football game west of the Mississippi.
How about that?
King TV.
On King TV, yeah, eventually became King TV. We're going to talk more during the broadcast about some of the problems they had.
Right.
So now, NCWLIFE channel, we can't feel too bad about having problems if they were doing it in 1948.
Right.
So, gentlemen, what happened past Wenatchee High School, and how many veterans do we have here that served in, of course we do. Of course we do. So thank you very much for your service. Now, Milt, you got 6 here tonight, but you guys are kind of thin in the ranks, aren't you?
Yeah, there's only 11 of us left, and health reasons is the main reason why the rest of them aren't here. There's only one that we can't find. He's just dropped off the map.
Oh, okay.
But that's the only one. Otherwise, we're in contact with the rest of them.
Now, when you guys get together, do you do the old Panther alma mater? Do you sing? Do you do a chant? Do you do anything like that, Mel?
I think it's more eat and drink.
Eat and drink. Oh, you need a cheerleader for that, huh? Okay, well, we got the flag team out here. We got the band ready to do the anthem. Well, gentlemen, welcome home. I know you probably, some have traveled, some are still here in the Valley. Thank you very much for being part of our broadcast. Television from 1948 to 2018. We're still doing it 70 years later. All right. Go Panthers. You bet. There you go. The state championship team from 1948 joining us here on the NCWLIFE channel. We'll come back, talk to a player. We'll talk to a coach. We'll get you the kickoff. It's homecoming here on the NCWLIFE channel. We'll be right back.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel. It's brought to you in part by the Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service. Located at 1205 Walnut Street in Wenatchee, thefireplaceguy.net. Beneficial in-home care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home. And the Windmill Restaurant, providing traditional steakhouse meals in a homey, old-fashioned dining room. Call 509-665-9529.
Können Sie mir das Problem sagen?
Meinen Zylinder überschwimmt. Flute, ich habe mein Fugen verloren.
Keine Sorge.
Global Car Care. We speak your car's language.
Fragenschlussen. How you?
Well, I got a leaky transmission, my head gasket's shot, and I could use some new brake pads.
That dog don't hunt.
Global Car Care. We speak your car or truck's language.
Our pregame show continues here on the NCWLIFE channel as we get ready for the Wenatchee Panthers and the Walla Blue Devils tonight. And now talking with Dalton Thomas. And Dalton, let's first talk about last week. I know that was pretty disappointing for you guys. It seemed like you won the game except for the scoreboard.
Yeah, all the guys we had on the field put all the effort they had into that game. We came off that field knowing that we didn't leave anything. And so at the end of the day, we weren't very happy that we couldn't get the dub, but we were all proud of ourselves because we knew we played hard, we played with a lot of pride, and some things you just can't control, and we just took it for what it was.
How do you right that ship after that feeling?
It's just time to move on to the next week. It's hard to flush, just knowing, just reminiscing about everything that happened. No one could go to sleep that night when we got back. It was just hard. It was a hard pill to swallow. But as long as we can move on and keep our heads straight for Walla, I think we're going to be all right.
We'll talk about this Walla team. It's a weird kind of have a non-league game this late in the season, but I mean, obviously you have next week that has a lot on the line, but preparation for Walla, what are you guys expecting?
We're expecting exactly what we're seeing on film, and their offense is good. They got a really solid defense. As far as personnel, they got a 6'7" wide receiver, so I'm kind of prepping for him in practice and stuff, expecting some fades and some deep routes. And
yeah, McElvey, I think is his name. 6'7". How do you prepare for that?
It's a lot of.
How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot in cleats, but don't tell anyone that. I'm just gonna tell them I'm 6 foot if I'm in Berks. But to prepare for it, I'm just going for the ball a lot in practice because I know that I can win the physical matchup. I think I'm a little bit faster than he is, but once the ball's in the air, I'm just kind of focusing on getting that ball out of his hand and getting my hands in the right position.
With this being a non-league game and obviously the implications next week with the Big 9 Championship on the line and Eastmont and everything else, how do you guys stay focused just on this week, plus it's homecoming week?
Right. We just got to know what's on the line because we're taking this week as practice for next week as well. If we take a week off this week, then we're falling behind schedule for next week. So we just know that we got to get better like every single day, no matter who we're playing. And as hard as it is, we seem to get it done.
We're going to talk to the coach coming up next, and I know coaches hate homecoming week because it's hard to get guys focused. But do you guys get to have fun too? I mean, that's what homecoming week's all about.
Oh yeah, we got the big Buff Puff game tonight. Big dog game. We're taking the championship tonight. Mark my words. But all the guys are really excited, and it's a little bit more loose in practice, but in a good way because it's a good vibe that goes around. And so as long as we can do the simple things and kind of keep our heads on straight, well, not kind of a lot. Coaches don't like that, but as long as we're on the same page, we're good.
We did, of course, soccer here earlier this week, and talking with John Springer, head coach for the varsity girls, and saying that they were talking as much about dance dresses as they were about soccer. So, are you guys talking about dance too on Saturday?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of us, we know that we're going to look good because we know what we need to do. We don't worry about it as much as the girls because we know we look good. But, yeah, it's in our heads, but we don't make it as big of a priority as they do.
Well, good luck here tonight, and best of luck against the Devils, and big week next week.
Thank you.
All right, Dalton Thomas joining us here on the pregame show. We'll come back and talk to the OC coming up next here on the NCWLIFE channel.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Where will you be a year from now? You could be working as a medical assistant. The Charter College Medical Assistant Certificate Program gets you work ready in 10 months. Add 5 more months to earn an associate degree. We prepare you with hands-on training and support you after graduation with job search help and interview skills. Institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, Charter has been training healthcare professionals for more than 30 years. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Pre-game show continues here on the NCWLIFE channel as we get ready for the Blue Devils and the Panthers, and Jacob Zier joining us now. Scott Devereaux said, talk to one of the other coaches for a change. I think it's because he thinks I gave him bad luck last week or something like that. Jacob, defensive coordinator. I said OC, defensive coordinator. Talk about last week and what happened, and I'll tell you, I watched their quarterback play against Eastmont. He's a load to bring down.
He is. He's a good football player, and we felt really prepared going into the game and felt like we had a good game plan and played really solid football. I felt like the whole game, there were really a couple plays that we gave up late in the game that ended up costing us, and it was very disappointing to not get the win when we played so well for so long. But there were a lot of things we can learn from that and a lot of ways we can get better. So overall, at this point in the year, it's a good learning tool for us.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. A lot of coachable moments in that game.
Yeah, very much. There were a lot of good things that we can build on, and a lot of things that we can improve on at the same time. So it's good for us in the long run.
Homecoming week, all the coaches say they hate homecoming week. Tell me about this week and keeping the guys focused on the task at hand.
Yeah, that's the challenge with homecoming. That's it's a little bit too loose at times as a coach, but it's a good thing. It's fun. It's exciting. You can tell there's a different type of a feel to it. So it's fun. You just got to know when to have the fun and know when to be focused and get work done. So we're trying to balance the two and still get a lot accomplished for this week, and also looking forward to the week after this. So
let's talk about what happens after this week. I know nobody wants to think about that, but everybody in the community is. Keeping the kids focused on Walla Walla and not thinking ahead to, Bridge of Sportsmanship, district championship, the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a challenge. Throughout the whole year, you're always looking forward to certain games. You know it's on the schedule, but the important thing is to take it one day at a time, take it one play at a time, one rep at a time in practice, because if you look too far in advance, you're going to miss what's right in front of you. So staying focused on what's right now is going to help us get to where we need to be for next week going forward. So just trying to make sure that we're clear about who we're preparing for this week, what we're expecting for this week, but understanding and not shying away from talking about what's coming up. Everybody knows the situation. We all know what's coming up and what to expect, and we're excited for that week, but that's that week, and we're looking forward to this week right now. So we're trying to take care of business while we have it.
Your initials, do the kids call you Jay-Z? Or?
They don't. So I've had that in the past, but this group, they just call me Z, and I've never had that before, but I don't mind. I like it.
I kind of thought that was automatic. So,
yeah,
Coach, thanks for taking the time.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Grant and I will come back and take a look at tonight's starting lineups as the Blue Devils and the Panthers coming up next on the NCWLIFE channel.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel. Brought to you by One Way Construction, premier custom home builders and construction company for North Central Washington, including general contracting, framing, concrete, and consulting services. One Way Construction, NW.com. The Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service, located at 1205 Walnut Street, Wenatchee. TheFireplaceGuy.net. And Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Well, she's coming back to me, but she's not talking to me. God damn it.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Welcome back to Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. Along with Grant Olson and a cast of thousands, I'm Eric Grandstrom here on the NCW Life Channel. They have just had the ceremonial coin toss, and how cool was that, Grant?
Oh, it was amazing. It was
team members
totally
that are here from the state championship in 1948 were out there for the toss of the coin with our head official, Dennis Brandstetter. And a very special moment for the players, and I love that. Both the Panthers and the Blue Devils shaking
classy.
the hands of those gentlemen out there. Well, they did the coin toss, and Walla Walla will receive. So let's take a look at our starting lineups here on the NCW Life Channel. First of all, for the Wenatchee Panthers on defense, up front, you've got Ronan Haynes and Eric Mendoza at the tackles, Derek Graham and Chase Lloydhammer, the defensive ends. Corners are Dalton Thomas and Fadis Nasser. The linebacking crew is Eamon Haugen, Jaden Christofferson, and Ty Waterman. The defensive back, Sebastian Esquivel, not getting the start here tonight. Instead, J.J. Jelsing is, along with Darius Carlson. Meanwhile, offensively for the Walla Walla Blue Devils, they have a lot of seniors, and they have a lot of guys that play two ways. In fact, 7 players will go two ways here tonight for the Blue Devils. Up front, the center is Jerry Corona, a 6', 230-pound senior. The guards, Jamal Mangarero, a 6', 185-pound sophomore, and Cole Schmidt, a 6', 155-pound sophomore. So a little guard there, number 66. The tackles, Patrick Uchinsky, a 6'1", 230-pound senior. He's on the right side. The left tackle is Sinjin Montoya, a 5'10", 180-pound senior. The tight end, Dylan Ashbeck, he's one of the lead receivers on the team, comes in with 28 catches on the season and 4 touchdowns. He's a 6'1", 180-pound junior. The wideouts, Jared McCalvey, a 6'7", 200-pound senior. He's number 2 in the Mid-Valley in receiving. Watch for him tonight, along with James Moore, a 5'9", 165-pound junior. The quarterback is Keldon Swant, a 5'10", 150-pound senior. And the running back is Josiah Wick, a 5'8", 160-pound junior. Back to return the kickoff for Walla Walla will be Josiah Wick, wearing number 22. Also, Colby Turner, number 8. Meanwhile, Fadis Nasser will be the man to kick it away here for the Wenatchee Panthers. Appreciate you joining us here tonight on the NCW Life Channels. We're ready for this non-league matchup between the Panthers and the Blue Devils. The high end-over-end kick is going to hit down on the turf. It's loose and just barely covered at the 32-yard line by a Blue Devil who just barely got a hold of that one. It was Hunter Pauley who came up with a football, and then he comes up a little gimpy after the play.
What a weird bounce that took when it hit the turf.
So we're underway. 11:58 here to go, as Walla Walla will actually have pretty decent field position after the short kick. And thank goodness we have different jerseys for the Panthers tonight with the purple trimmed in gold.
That helps a ton.
Oh, my Lord,
yes.
It does. And Walla Walla, thanks for the road uniforms, white with the blue numbers. So here we go, the pitchfork on the helmets of the Blue Devils as Keldon Swant, the 5'10", 150-pound senior. He's a little guy, but he'll move around the pocket. He's going to turn, hand it off to Swick in the backfield. He'll bounce it outside, trying to get to the edge, but not going to get there. A great job by the Wenatchee defense getting over there and helping on the stop for the Panthers that time. It was Fadis Nasser. In fact, a loss of 2 back to the 30.
And he put a stick on Wick. I don't mean to do that, but he did over on that side.
I do it all the time.
Wick looks like he's a quick back, so that was
is.
good convergence by the defensive back and making that tackle.
Wick coming in with 108 rushes, 470 yards, averaging 4.4 a carry. Not one touchdown running
Surprising.
this year. Back to pass. Here goes Swant, and he'll throw it out in the flat, but he got pressure. Had to get rid of that football. Is coming after him that time for the Panthers was Eamon Haugen from his linebacker position, cheating in, shooting a gap, and it'll be 3rd down and 12 coming up.
You know, one thing that stands out, Eric, when you look at this Mid-Columbia Conference standings, the 3 bottom teams and perennially have been the 3 top teams, Walla Walla, Pasco, and Southridge, and they're all struggling this season. It's kind of weird.
It is strange to see that. We were talking about that walking down on the field before the ball game tonight. Walla Walla comes in after beating Pasco, and there's another team that in the day was one of the perennial top teams in the Mid-Valley and in the Big 9 back in the day. So 3rd and 12. Swant throws over the middle. The ball picked off. Coming back the other way from the 40 is J.J. Jelsing. He'll be tumbled down at the 35. An interception for the Panther defense here on homecoming night. They get the football back to the offense.
And when you're in a 2-6 team, you don't want to do that. On the road, your first possession, give the home team more momentum than they already have because it's homecoming. And now the Panthers great field position in Walla Walla territory.
So our first turnover of the game gives Wenatchee the ball with 11:05 to go here in the first quarter of play. And on the positive side of the 50-yard line is Camden Sermon, who had a rough week last week on the road. And the Panthers' only loss of the season in Big 9 play at Sunnyside, 14-10. Looking for better things here tonight. He'll reset the offense and bring a man from left to right. That's Jackson Bowles getting the start. He'll become a trips receiver to the right. They got 5 receivers in the set. And back to pass Sermon with time, now getting some pressure, now stepping up in the pocket. He gets away from one man, now turns to his right and heading downfield inside the 30, and then finally down at the 23-yard line. We're going to flag down on the tackle.
You know what that might be, Eric? On Sermon, lowering his helmet as he came into that contact for that tackle. It might be on the offense.
That would be too bad, because that would wipe out about an 11-yard scramble for Camden Sermon. Nope, they're going to call a hold. That was the indication from the officials. So evidently somebody blocking downfield about where the tackle was made.
Boy, this crowd is revved up here tonight, aren't they?
Absolutely.
You know, this is a series, though, Eric. We were reading, thanks to Bruce Bennett, a contest between Walla Walla and Wenatchee that goes back to 1911. So these teams have seen a lot of each other, and I still look at it kind of as a rivalry. You did a lot of games when everyone was in the Big 9, the Mid-Columbia Conference teams, and it was a rivalry back in the day.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, my first game broadcasting high school football was down for Kona Radio in the Tri-Cities, and it was Pasco at Walla Walla. And you talk about intense.
I'll bet.
That was out of the frying pan into the fire for this broadcaster that had not a first clue about how to do a football game. First down over again here from the 34. Throw out in the flat to Bowles. He's got the ball and at least 5 yards as he's held on for dear life by Heston Richmond. The Blue Devil defensive back or linebacker, if you will, came up to make the stop, but it will be a positive gain inside the 30. They'll put him down at the 28. It'll be second down, 3 yards to go for Wenatchee.
Nice gain of 7 yards. A nice block downfield, too. A Bowles that kind of sprung him loose, or it had only been about maybe a 3-yard gain.
Second down for the Panthers after that first down penalty after what should have been a first down on a running play. Under 10 minutes to go as Sermon gets a snap, rolls to his right, looking downfield, throwing downfield. The ball caught down there at the 15, down to the 10, and tumbling down for the Wenatchee Panthers. Looked like Darius Carlson on the catch. It was.
It was.
It'll be first and goal for the Panthers down at the 8-yard line, gain of 20 yards.
Nice pass by. How about this? Yeah. Blauman hasn't touched the ball on this possession. I think they're trying to fool Walla Walla a little bit. I think they're going to see a lot of Blauman, which I mentioned to you I thought we would. But, boy, they're coming out passing so far.
Yeah, the Blue Devils number 3 defense in the Mid-Valley. So a pretty decent defense, and they're pretty good against the run.
Right.
So maybe that's why we haven't seen him touch the ball yet. But I think that might change on this first and goal coming up from the 8-yard line as they bring jumbo backfield, and they turn and hand it to him. He bounces against one man at the line and then is ridden down there by a host of Blue Devils. One of the first one to get there was Heston Richmond. Linebacker came over. Also a big fella up front, Patrick Uczynski, the 6'1", 230-pound senior on the stop. Got a gain down to the 7, so a gain of a yard.
There's some big players on this team, Eric, that's for sure. Like you said, Uczynski, huge out there. The 6'5", 300-pound St. John Montoya as well.
Carlson will split out wide to the right along with Bowles. Coming out wide to the left here near side is J.J. Jelsing. Set a man in motion, that's Bowles. And then to his right goes Sermon looking for the corner of the end zone. Pumps, and then steps out of bounds, then hit out of bounds. No flag coming. Kind of an awkward play there. And I think if you're Coach Scott Devereaux, you want that sophomore quarterback just to get rid of that football out of the end zone, play for another down.
I like what Coach Devereaux is doing, though. Sermon, as you mentioned, Eric, in the pregame, had a little bit of a tough go down in Sunnyside, and they're going right back to him earlier in this ball game and letting him throw. I love that kind of what you do to gain confidence for your young quarterback.
Unfortunately, they lost 7 there, so it's third and goal from the 14-yard line, as he'll have 3 receivers in this formation, 2 left, 1 right, and a lone back is Blauman maybe go for a draw play here. No, back to pass. Sermon has pressure. Now runs up in the pocket. Going to take it himself. Down at the 10, at the 5. Looking for the corner in the end zone. He's going to be down at the 1-yard line. Nice play by Sermon. Didn't have a lot, so took it himself. Colby Turner on this tackle for Walla Walla. Decision times, Grant. You got a turnover. You got a 4th and goal from the 1.
I think you go for it here, Eric. You're pinning them down if you don't get it. Not a very prolific offense so far this season. I think by all means you go for it. And you have Blauman, the second leading rusher in the Big 9.
I was just going to say Nate Blauman, also one of the top scoring rushers in the league, too.
15 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, not bad at all. So Blauman is about 6 yards deep in the backfield. They got Walla Walla to jump off sides. Yep. That little hitch they do at the line of scrimmage gets a lot of people, and it's going to get Walla Walla here.
Half the distance, so instead of a yard, it'll be half a yard.
Makes it a little easier.
Now you got to go for it.
Every inch counts. So 1 penalty, and that was supposed to be a 5-yard penalty, but it's a half a yard. Whistled against the Blue Devils here, as they're down in the corner of the end zone, away from our cameras and away from me to be able to see it. Sermon turn, hands to Blauman. Blauman's just going to go behind the left side of the line and get into the end zone for our first score of the game. Touchdown, Wenatchee. They take a 6-0 lead with 7:20 to go in the first quarter.
And you know what? I'm going to be a rebel tonight, Eric. It was only half a yard. I'm giving Blauman a yard on that touchdown. How do you give somebody a half a yard?
Yeah, you got to give him the whole thing. Blauman with a TD run. Make that 16 touchdowns for Nate Blauman on the season. Not a bad junior, huh?
Oh, boy, I guess. That's what a turnover will do for you. You're a good team. You make the other team pay for it, and that's what Wenatchee did there.
Fadas Nasser with the extra point, up and through, out of the hold of Waterman. And that will be a touchdown and an extra point. 7:20 to go here in the first quarter. Wenatchee strikes first. They lead the Blue Devils 7-0. You're watching Big 9 football tonight on the NCWLIFE channel. We're back after this.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel. It's brought to you in part by the Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service. Located at 1205 Walnut Street in Wenatchee, thefireplaceguy.net. Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home. And the Windmill Restaurant, providing traditional steakhouse meals in a homey, old-fashioned dining room. Call 509-665-9529.
You know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
You know it. Martinez.
Können Sie mir das Problem sagen?
Meinen Zylinder überschwingt. Flute, ich habe mein Fugen verloren.
Keine Sorge.
Global Car Care. We speak your car's language.
Fragen schließen. Hey, you.
Well, I got a leaky transmission, my head gasket's shot, and I could use some new brake pads.
That dog don't hunt.
Global Car Care. We speak your car or truck's language.
Welcome back once again to Lee-Bofto Field of the Apple Bowl. The Apples, or the Apple Sox. The Panthers.
Old habits are hard to break, my
True.
friend.
The Panthers convert on an interception by Jelsing, take it 7 plays and 35 yards, 3 minutes and 35 seconds off the clock. Blauman with a 1-yard touchdown run. This kick a little bit deeper this time, and it's going to be, no, the up-man alignment grabs it at the 20, 25,
300 pounds.
30, out to the 34-yard line. It's St. Montoya with the return, the big fella.
All nimble, 6'5", 300 pounds, St. Montoya. Boy, he wasn't going to give it to that back guy either.
That's awesome. Get a chance to touch the ball, baby. It's going to happen. We're also, of course, watching in earnest the game at Moses Lake tonight. Eastmont trying to remain unbeaten in Big 9 play and set up that game next week.
That's such a dangerous game. I've been talking about it with you all week. It's just such a trap game for Eastmont. Would be anxious to see a score.
The Panthers cheating up at the line of scrimmage, handoff to Wick, trying to bounce it around the left side, but nothing happening again as Wenatchee just flows so well. Eamon Haugen over there on the tackle, going to lose a yard, maybe 2 on the play, back to the 33-yard line.
And you said it, Eric. They flowed so well down that line of scrimmage. If it wouldn't have been Haugen on that stop, it might have been 3 other players. They were all right there. Loss of 1 yard. Wick now 2 carries, -3 yards.
Wick to the right of their quarterback Swant, the 5'10", 150-pound senior, looks over to his left, now gets a snap from center, looking right, throwing right. The ball is
good defense.
Dropped. Darius Carlson right there as the ball came towards James Moore. and timed it perfectly, jarring the receiver from the ball. Incomplete, third down.
It's so beautiful to watch what speed will do for you, isn't it? He converges so quickly from his defensive back position. And Eric, really the games that we've seen them play now, I think he's evolving more as a defensive back than as a receiver. He's playing great on the defensive side.
Absolutely. Trips to the right this time on a third down and long, and second time they've touched the ball. Another third and long situation. They'll throw to Wick out of the backfield. He's going backwards and going to be taken down, and there's Lloydhammer again. And I'm telling you what, Chase Lloydhammer, the 6'5", 205-pound junior, is just having a MVP season.
He really is. He was amazing the game he did against Moses Lake, and he has been amazing every game that he's been playing. I think he's getting a little bit better every game, too. And we talked about it, Eric. He kind of reminds us of Jaron Snyder a little bit, or me anyway, from Eastmont. Yep. They play different positions, but they're lanky, and they're both right on the ball.
That loss, by the way, 11 yards on the pass play. So Walla Walla going backwards right now as they'll get ready to punt this ball away. McCalvey is the punter at 6'7", so he can see down, I think, to Quincy from where he stands right now. High pass from center, pressure by Jelsing, but he did get the ball away. Ball will bounce, and then Dalton Thomas will take it on the run, retreating, and then up to the 40, dances around a man. Look out to the 45, up near midfield. Big block there. They're going to call a flag on that. Are you kidding me? He's finally tackled at the 34 of Walla Walla. And they're going to call, I'm not sure what. That was not a clip in any stretch of the imagination.
Jackson Bowles just laid a hit right there.
Oh, my goodness.
Whoa.
I don't know. Other than, what, a hit to the head?
Well, Eric, I think in this day and age of football, if the referees just see that out of their peripheral or just see that nasty hit, they're going to call something. I see it in every level of football. What a block that was. Amazing.
So
right there. I didn't see anything bad about that block.
I guess a blind slide hit, so defenseless player, I guess. I'm not sure. And again, I've been out of officiating for a while, and that's a new signal that Dennis Brandstetter, our head official from the Chelan County Officials Association, gave. He put his two fists together out in front of him, banging together. So evidently just an illegal hit, but it's going to be a 15-yard penalty against Wenatchee. So 2 penalties and 25 yards, and costly one there, as Wenatchee had great field position after the Dalton Thomas return, but will have it nonetheless with 5:31 to go in the first quarter as they lead it 7-0, and will have the football at their own 38-yard line, first down and 10.
Yeah, it really takes away from that run by Thomas. Great vision out there, and he had blockers set up on this side of the field.
And such a great block. That's in the old days we called that a decleater.
You teach that in the old days.
Camden Sermon will set his offense up here, send Riley Coons from left to right as he'll look at a first down. Bowles goes in motion. They're going to turn, hand it on a counter play to Blauman in the middle. Not much room there for him to run as their linebacker got in, Jamal Mangarero, the 6'1", 190-pounder, got a lot of hair flowing from beneath that helmet. It'll be second down for Wenatchee after just a yard gain. Up front, Jerry Corona, Sinjin Montoya, John Pomerink, Cody Rasmussen up there for the Blue Devils. The linebackers, as we mentioned, Jamal Mangarero, Heston Richmond, Tyler Niesel, Colby Turner. The corners, Dylan Ashbeck and Jared McCalvey. The safeties, James Moore and Keldon Swamp. So you got a bunch of guys going both ways here for the Devils. Second down, 9 for Wenatchee. Back to pass, Sermon rolling left, throwing with the right hand. The ball caught by Coons. Nice soft hands there. Got to be about a yard shy or 2 of the first down, but a nice safe pass over the middle. And more importantly for Sermon, hitting a receiver that's open.
He's now 3 out of 3, Eric, in this game for 34 yards, so a nice start for the sophomore. That's what it takes for a young player, build some confidence early on.
Well, as part of my discussion this week with Scott Devereaux, head coach now in his 17th season with Wenatchee, I said, well, you know, did your sophomore become a sophomore for one game? I mean, for goodness sakes, he's played out of his mind as a sophomore up until this point. And he says, we sat with he and his dad Sunday for an hour and a half of film study to work on the things that he needs to improve upon. And, well, so far, Grant, looking pretty good.
Absolutely.
Sermon turns, hands off to Blauman, trying to get the first down, and he will be close. I don't know. This depends on the spot here. I think he's going to be about a width of a shoe shy.
Wow.
That's going to be a down. I'm surprised they didn't measure it from the sideline here. No, they're going to say a first down. Wow. I'm surprised.
That was very close.
So it will be a first down. They'll put it out at the 48-yard line, so a gain of 2 officially for Nate Blauman. Number 2 rusher, as Grant mentioned, coming in with a 6.8 average. How about that?
14 touchdowns rushing, 1 receiving, leads the Big 9 by a ton in scoring.
Add another touchdown tonight as Wenatchee leads it 7-0 with 3:49 to go here in the first quarter. Sermon's going to turn, hand it to him again, trying to get around the right side. Got through 2 men. How does he do that? Just turns his hips sideways. Ran, I think, out of his shoe, for goodness sakes. And he's going to be gaining about 8 yards on that run, and it will be a 2nd and short coming up for Wenatchee.
I'm convinced that Nathan Blauman played a lot of flag football when he was younger. Remember how you go sideways so they can't grab your flag?
Exactly.
He's like a ghost going through that line of scrimmage. He doesn't even get touched for about 7 yards. Amazing.
Going to be 2nd and a short 2 coming up for Wenatchee after a gain to the 43 of the Blue Devils. Wenatchee in charge of this one. Homecoming night. Thanks for joining us here on the NCWLIFE channel. Sermon again about 5 yards back in the backfield in the shotgun position here. 3 yards behind him is Blauman. High snap. Sermon going to throw it quickly over the middle. The ball almost caught and then dropped. That time the intended receiver looked like it was Dalton Thomas.
Just on a simple post pattern down the middle was Thomas. He was there in the middle and just a little bit overthrown by Sermon. Really the first bad pass we've seen Thurman throw tonight.
Well, and I'll tell you, there was not a free safety over the top on that. So he didn't get pressure. He had time actually to wait a half a step and throw that same pass and hit Thomas in stride for a touchdown.
That's good. A little bit more patience, you're right.
So Thomas and Carlson will go wide to the right here on 3rd and short. I'll bet Blauman time, who's standing just shy of the 50-yard line behind Camden Sermon. High snap from center. Look out. Sermon trying to direct traffic. He's going to throw it out in the flat. The ball caught out there by Carlson. And talk about making something out of nothing. That was a blown play all the way from the high snap from center. She's going to get a first down, though, down to the 32-yard line, 33.
That was amazing patience, Eric, by the sophomore quarterback. I think he was going to hand it to Blauman. That was the called play. He rolled out because of the bad snap. Carlson became open, and a good heads-up play by Sermon.
Well, amazing. The lineman didn't get downfield on that because he just motioned to his receivers, go, 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 because we got problems here.
Yeah.
Houston, we've got a situation. And the linemen held their blocks, and Sermon just enough to get downfield for the first down. Gain of 10 yards on the play to the 33 ball, right hash mark. Trips left. They're going to pitch it out to Blauman. He'll turn the corner with blockers in front and always gets past the first man, it seems. Finally nailed down hard at the 28-yard line. Again, coming up with a stop for the Devils was Jamal Manguerrero, but another good gain on first down.
Offensive line of the Panthers doing a great job. Blauman now kind of finding his stride a little bit on this run, but they're doing a great job on pass protection, as you mentioned too, Eric.
Jelsing will split out to the right, along with a bunch of receivers to the wide side of the field here. On this 2nd and 5, kind of opens the playbook, and they're going to go turn, hand it off to Blauman. Gets past one man, gets past 2. Blue Devils diving after him, but Blauman's going to get enough for another first down for Wenatchee down to the 23-yard line.
With a little help from his guard, Vincent Bentley, who came up behind him and pushed him forward for another yard or two. 6'3", 265 pounds. That helps to gain another yard or two.
By the way, our kickoff tonight brought to you by Swoboda Photography, creating custom boutique experience on location or at their studio in Leavenworth. Call 509-888-6654 for more information. That's 509-888-6654. So Wenatchee on its 2nd drive of the game. Minute 24 to go. We're quickly through this first quarter already. And Sermon back to pass again. Has time. Now he's got some pressure for the backside. Throws behind a receiver and in front of another one. It kind of goes between the two. And Jelsing had his hands on it. Can't hold on. It'll be 2nd down on the incomplete pass.
I just don't think Sermon knew who to throw to there. He had Thomas and Jelsing within about 4 yards of each other, 5 yards, and he kind of threw it between them, as you mentioned, Eric. I don't think he decided which one to throw to.
So the Panthers come in with the 4th-ranked offense in the Big 9. 1,347 rushing yards on the season, most of that from Mr. Blauman. 1,000 passing yards. Averaging nearly 300 yards of offense a game. But you look at that, Grant, and pretty much everybody in the Big 9 is doing well offensively this season. Throws down the middle. The ball caught by Coons at the 5, and he will get into the end zone for the touchdown. Good from 23 yards out. Beautiful pass, beautiful play. Play action froze the defense just long enough to get Coons wide open at the 10. Takes it in from there for the touchdown.
That was, you said it, a beautiful play. I still say play action pass, the best play you can run in football. It freezes the linebackers. The defensive backs were froze for a second because Blauman's so good, and that's what a good running back will do. Coons wide open. 4th
touchdown reception of the season for Riley Coons. And the extra point up and good by Fadas Nasser. And with 1:06 to go here in the first quarter, it's Wenatchee 14, the Blue Devils nothing. You're watching Wenatchee football tonight on the NCWLIFE channel. We're back after this.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
4 minutes and 25 seconds off the clock. The drive. 10 plays. And it was 62 yards on the drive. The 23-yard touchdown pass from Sermon to Coons, the extra point good, makes it a 14-0 game. By the way, first quarter, Eastbourne on top of Moses Lake right now after an 86-yard drive to start the game. Eastbourne up 7-0 over the Chiefs. Appreciate you joining us here on the NCWLIFE channel. Again, a high short kick, and that one is going to be dropped, muffed, and then finally covered by Mangarero. I think he called for the fair catch, but in the meantime, kind of lost the sight of the ball there.
It's amazing what those high kicks kind of freezes the special teams, doesn't it? It's crazy. They kind of look at it. They don't know who's supposed to get it. It works for Wenatchee. We've seen it a few times this season.
Now the ball at the 26, first down and 10 so far. The drives for Walla, interception and punt. This is their 3rd possession of the football game as they trail it now by 2 scores. Swant gets the handoff to Wick, and Wick is just pummeled down hard on the tackle again by Eamon Haugen. He's having a night already. Another tackle for a loss. A loss of 3 yards, going to bring up 2nd and 13.
I've got Wick now 3 carries, -5 yards. Keldon Swamp 1 carry, -11 yards.
Wow, how about that? Well, we talked about Wenatchee's defense, number 2 in the Big 9. They've only allowed 794 rushing yards on the season. I think that's number 1 in the Big 9 against the run. They're going to pitch it back to the wing back, kind of a fly sweep, if you will, or a little pitch play. And that doesn't go for anything either, as James Moore is taken down just about as soon as he can get the football. They're going to put it down at the 23, no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 13.
Boy, Wenatchee is just fighting off the blocks on that line of scrimmage. Linebackers are in there, defensive backs, everyone in on the tackle.
That's going to be the end of our first quarter of play as they stop the clock at 2.1, and then they restart it again, and then they stop it at 0. So through 1 quarter, all Wenatchee so far as the Panthers lead the Blue Devils from Walla Walla 14-0. It's homecoming night, and we're going to take a 60-second break, come back with second quarter action here from the Apple Bowl on the way next on the NCWLIFE channel.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel. Brought to you by One Way Construction, premier custom home builders and construction company for North Central Washington, including general contracting, framing, concrete, and consulting services. OneWayConstructionNW.com. The Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service, located at 1205 Walnut Street, Wenatchee. TheFireplaceGuy.net. And Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Thanks for joining us here on the NCWLIFE channel. All Wenatchee that first quarter as they lead at 14-0 over the Blue Devils, facing a 3rd down and 13 on the first play of the second quarter. Low snap back to Swant, rolling to his left, going to throw with the right hand. The ball picked off and coming back the other way. Fadas Nasser to the 10, cuts back to the 5, going to be tackled down at the 1-yard line. Fadas Nasser, the second interception for the Panther defense tonight. And Swant just telegraphed that pass, and an easy play for Fadas Nasser along the near sideline.
Boy, Walla, I don't even know how to say, struggling on offense. Swant 1 of 4 now. Minus 11 yards and 2 interceptions throwing the football. Rushing, no better. Minus 7 yards for Wick in the night. They are still in the negative so far in this football game.
And do you think they might give the ball to Mr. Blauman here?
I think that might be a possibility.
1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Knock, knock, knock. Panthers on the door. Handoff, it's Blauman, and Blauman will get close. Did it get in, though? Nope, got to be 2nd down from about the 1-inch line. 2nd and goal officially from the 1. Our broadcast brought to you by Alignment Pros and Express Lube. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube, including front and 4-wheel alignment. Online at alignpros.com or at 182 Eastmont Avenue. 2nd and goal from the 1. Panthers trying to convert another turnover into points here as they lead at 14-0, trying to extend it. Sermon's wide open in the middle if he wants to take it himself, and he will, and he'll bounce off a man, and he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Wenatchee. Panthers up 20-0.
That was wide open up the middle. You're right, Eric. I think everybody was keen on Blauman to get that handoff, and that was the right call. Sermon now his 2nd touchdown of the night. 1 rushing, 1 throwing. By the way, in that first quarter, Camden Sermon 5 of 7, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Not bad quarter.
That's a good quarter of football for your sophomore quarterback,
right,
coming after a hard loss last week. On the road, first Big 9 loss of the season. Ty Waterman's going to spot the ball down here for Fadas Nasser, who will kind of sandwich this after he got the interception. He'll put the extra point up, and it's good. With 11-12 to go here in the first quarter, or first half, I should say. It's 21-0 Wenatchee on top. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Automoca. What's your Automoca emergency? Visit one of their 6 locations in the valley, including the only Automoca with inside seating on 5th Street across from the college. Also by Color Effects, offering screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, and logo design for your team, school, business, or church at a fair price. Locally owned for over 20 years. Call Color Effects at 509-741-7609. That's 509-741-7609. So it's 21-0 here on this Friday night. It's a non-league game for Wenatchee, so doesn't matter really in the big scheme of things. They're really looking forward to next Friday when they host Wenatchee or Eastmont in the battle, the Bridge of Sportsmanship, and what will be the battle for the regular season championship in the Big 9.
Absolutely. And you know what? Wenatchee's offense, Eric, hasn't had to do much tonight. They've been 2 interceptions, a couple of scores there. Yeah.
Just been handed pieces of cake all night.
They have.
2 interceptions and 2 touchdowns off of that, and a punt, and then a touchdown off of that. So 21-0. By the way, got another score here. 3:04 to go in the first quarter in Moses Lake tonight. And so far, all Eastmont. They lead at 14-0 over the Chiefs, trying to remain unbeaten in the Big 9. Meanwhile, you've got some baseball, that World Series, that little thing going on.
Yeah, my Dodgers are winning tonight. Bottom of the 7th, 1 out. They're leading Boston 1-0, which isn't even close to enough runs.
Kickoff this time, excuse me, it's going to go deep over Wick's head, and that's going to be a penalty. So Moses Lake will get good field position at their own 35-yard line after they mark the penalty off.
As you said, Eric, I think a couple of broadcasts ago, the most yard-gaining penalty in football is when you kick it out of bounds.
Yeah, it's they mark it from where you kick the ball. It's 25 yards from there.
Right.
Biggest penalty in football.
Biggest penalty, yeah.
They mark it to the 35, and that's where it will rest. As I'm texting with our old buddy Ken Johannesson, who is running the board for Steve Oak on that broadcast on Core Community Radio tonight for the Eastmont Wildcats. By the way, I should mention, next Friday, you're not going to be here.
I'm not.
Bum.
I'm sorry.
Literally a bum, because he's going to be in Hawaii being a beach bum. But you deserve it. You worked really hard. Handoff to Wick inside, and boy, they got positive yardage for the first time in a long time, but only a yard. as the Wenatchee defense, again, right there to surround him. So a gain out to the 36. But next week on our pregame show, we're going to start at 6 with our tailgate party live pregame show here at the Apple Bowl. And we're going to be joined by the gentleman next door to us here, the Wenatchee Panther broadcasters on Coho Radio, with Steve Sandman and Mark Miller. And then Steve Oak, the broadcaster for Eastmont, going to join us as well. So that'll be fun. I thought about having Steve Sandman and Steve Oak do best fall 2 out of 3 wins.
The Battle of the Steves.
The Battle of the Steves.
Right.
I don't think I'll do that to him.
That'll be really cool. Maybe I'll watch from the beach. I'll watch on our website, NCWLIFE.com.
No, you won't.
Don't you tell me that. You didn't go with that shameless plug?
No, because I know I wouldn't. So 21-0 here. 3rd down coming up for Walla Walla. They throw out the flat. The ball caught out there. Look out to the 50, 45, 40. Big fella rumbling his way. That's Jared McElvey. And McElvey's going to get the biggest gain of the game for Walla Walla. That was a well-designed play. Throw out the flat. You got 2 blockers out there on the trip set. And he takes the ball all the way to the Wenatchee 29-yard line.
And boy, did Keldon Swant, the quarterback, need that completion right there. He's been struggling all night. Nice 29-yard gain downfield. And now we know why McElvey's so hard to tackle at 6'7" out there.
So the gain to the 29 of Wenatchee. So a lot
McKelvey, I'm sorry.
McElvey.
Oh, McElvey.
McElvey,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
Yes. I know. So here we go, handoff to Wick in the backfield. He's met immediately and dropped on the play for Wenatchee, getting in the backfield that time on the stuff. It looked like, was it 71? Nathan Black?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah. Or was it 17? My dyslexia kicking in. That was 17. It was 17. That's Omar Cruz. Didn't get the start tonight. Eric Mendoza got the start, but Omar Cruz with a tackle in the backfield there for a loss. It'll be 2nd down coming up back at the 34-yard line. They're going to heave for the end zone here and pestering the receiver downfield. I think was
Dalton
Thomas down there covering McElvey. And the ball incomplete. Pretty good coverage. Talked to Dalton Thomas on the pregame show about how in the world do you guard 6'7". I said, by the way, how tall are you? He says, I'm 6 foot in cleats. So this is a good answer. So 3rd down coming up and long. Call it 3rd and 14 from back at the 34-yard line. Need to get just inside the 20 for a 1st down, does Moses Lake here. Moses Lake. Keep doing that. Walla Walla got Moses Lake on the mind. Back to Pasco. Swant throws out the flat. The ball too high for his intended receiver over there. That was Dylan Ashbeck. Good coverage again by the Panthers.
Doing a lot better job on the offensive line now, protecting Schwant too. Wenatchee all over the quarterback in that first quarter, doing a much better job here.
Gavin Corrigan on the coverage that time for Wenatchee as they're rotating their defensive backs in there. It'll be a 4th down coming up, and Walla Walla is going to punt the ball away.
I would watch for something here maybe.
Well, their big receiver, Jared McKelvey. I kept saying McElvey. It's McKelvey.
McKelvey, yep.
McKelvey, there we go. Is back to punt the ball away, standing near midfield. Meanwhile, it is Dalton Thomas, I believe, back there at his own 5-yard line. He's had a couple of exciting returns so far this season for Wenatchee. 4th down, 14. And they will snap it to the up man. He'll throw it down over the middle. The ball is caught. They got a 1st down inside the 20 to about the 15-yard line. Dylan Ashbeck comes up with a football on the throw from the up man, Joe Terry. The 5'11", 175-pound sophomore backup quarterback is the up man in the formation. And a good fake punt and convert it down to the 17-yard line.
Terry now with that one throw, excuse me, Eric, has just about as many yards as Swant does in the football game.
17-yard pass play there down to the Wenatchee 17. So the drive continues here for Walla Walla with just over 9 minutes to go, trailing it by 3 scores, 21-0. They go with that jumbo package to bring James Moore in the backfield, and they'll turn and hand it to him. He'll cut back to his right. Not much there, but he did get down to the 15 on the play. As they unstack it Again, helping on the stop was Omar Cruz, along with Jaden Christofferson for Wenatchee. It'll be second down.
Doesn't it seem like Walla Walla's offense now into a better flow offensively? They're handing off, they're mixing up their plays a little better. They have some breathing room now, and they're starting to play much better.
McCalvey will go wide to the short side of the field to the right here on second down and call it 8. Back to pass. Look out, Swant's got trouble. He's going to go down on a blitz in the middle. The Panthers get him. And coming through the gap and coming up with the sack for the Panthers, it was Jaden Christofferson.
They brought the house that time. A couple of linebacker blitz there. Didn't give Schwant any time to go back. I think he only had about a 3-step drop back there, and Panthers right on him.
Loss back to the 22-yard line, so a loss of 7 yards on the play. And just when Walla Walla seems to get something going, then they go backwards. So it'll be a third down coming up. They've got 15 on the board. That's about right. So 3rd and 15 coming up as the Panther defense trying to get the crowd enthused here. And Wenatchee laying wait for another interception. They've got 2 already tonight on Swant. Swant gets the pass from center. Pressure, throws out the flat, the ball caught. And now we're going to get a flag and a roughing the passer call against the defense. And slow to get up is Swant. And he was smacked back there. And it will be against the defense, and that'll be a first down for Walla Walla.
It was Ronan Haynes. He kind of gave him a 2-hand fist punch right to the, I guess, the face mask or right below it. And you can't do that on a quarterback.
So the play, it'll be marked off from the previous point. As I was watching that, I didn't even watch the end of the play there. So it must have been an incomplete pass because they're marking it off from the spot of the foul. And that should be half the distance on that, down to the 11-yard line. So it'll be first down, I believe, yes, on the unnecessary roughness.
And it wasn't necessary. It really wasn't. The play, like you said, was an incomplete pass. I think Schwant felt the pressure, and he probably didn't even need to lay a hand on him.
So 3 penalties against the Panthers now. That officially goes down as an 11-yard penalty. So 3 penalties and 36 yards on that one. And with 7:27 to go here in the first quarter, or first half of play, Wenatchee up 21-0. And Walla Walla trying to get something here going offensively. The officials talking it over still as to what the penalty was. If that was a completed pass, it goes on the end of the play, not from the spot of the foul, or not from the previous spot being the line of scrimmage. So the officials are talking it over here. By the way, our officiating crew from the Chelan County Association, Dennis Brandstetter is our referee. Ray Snook is the umpire. And the roughing the passer, yeah, they're going to mark it from the end of the play. So that was about a 7-yard play down to the 15, I want to say. And so half the distance from there would be the 7. So there you go. So it would have been 4th down from the.
That was a costly penalty.
Yeah, it was, nonetheless. First down and goal now for Walla Walla from the 7-yard line. Low snap, Swant back, throws in the end zone, jump ball, and over the top of everybody. Trying to find that 6'7" receiver again, McCalvey, and it's incomplete. Pretty good coverage downfield. I think Dalton Thomas was back there for the Panthers.
McKelvey, what a target in there. He's an ideal candidate for that fade pass in the corner. He just stand there, and anybody that's less than about 6'5" isn't going to be able to get up there.
I talked to Dalton about that, and how do you cover that kind of height? And he says, I don't play the man, I play the ball.
Yeah.
He says, if I can get up after the ball, then I don't have to worry about how tall he is, which is a good point.
It is.
Swant again in the shotgun with Wick next to him to his left. Wick goes out of the backfield. They're going to throw over the middle. The ball caught, and not much happening there as maybe they're going to give him to the 5-yard line. Dylan Ashbeck, who converted on a fake punt reception here earlier in this drive, gets it down to the 5-yard line. It'll be 3rd down from there after a 2-yard gain. Well, pretty good drive here for Walla Walla.
It has been. It really has.
This is the 14th play of the drive with a conversion on 4th down. A little help on a defensive penalty on a roughing the passer call. Panther fans below us trying to make some noise here, and they're getting that job done. McCalvey by himself on the right, man coverage over there. See if they go with a jump ball again. Swant looks left, now throws over the middle. The ball is off the hands of McCalvey. Had him open, just threw it too hard.
Thomas converged right at the end there, Eric, and just, I think, disrupted McKelvey a little bit in that end zone, but nice coverage by Thomas.
So 4th down and goal from the 5, and looks like they're going to bring the kicking team out here as Seamus Hall, the 6-foot, 160-pound sophomore. You don't hear the name Seamus too much anymore.
I'll tell you what, Eric, he was booming him in pregame, too. I was watching him.
He's got a foot on him, that's for sure. So Seamus is going to kick here out of the hold of Swant, so there's always that chance for the fake. He'll put the ball down at the 12, so a 22-yard field goal attempt, angle right-left here for Seamus Hall. Snap back is good, the spot down is good, and the kick away, plenty of distance, but it's no good. Wide left.
Wow, plenty of distance is right. Boomed that thing as we saw it, but just a little bit off. Huh.
So Walla Walla kept scoreless off the board here on homecoming night here on the NCWLIFE channel. So Wenatchee will get the ball at the 20-yard line after the ball sails through the end zone. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Global Car Care, a quality auto repair facility with highly trained technicians. Celebrating 25 years in the car care business, they speak your car's language at 1840 North Wenatchee Avenue.
Eric, do you think this is the kind of game, a non-league game, playing a team that's been struggling this year? Is this where you maybe try a few things in the playbook that you haven't tried yet this season in the Big 9 and maybe use it then again next week against Eastmont?
Well, I don't know if you believe Coach Michael Dawn of Eastmont or not. He says he hasn't watched one lick of film on Wenatchee so far this season. I don't know if that's true or not, but I would probably stay pretty vanilla here if I was Wenatchee, because I wouldn't want to show something that I'd like to use next week against Eastmont in the battle for the Bridge of Sportsmanship as well as the district championship.
Well, that's a good point.
Hand off to Blauman again here, running right. He'll be tumbled out of bounds after a 7-yard gain. He just does it so quietly.
I think that was Jelsing that time. And he was playing in the slot and came around on kind of an end-around run. And, got a nice block on his weak side.
Well, Blauman is in the backfield. He carries the horse so much. He had 30 carries last week in the loss to Sunnyside. Sermon back to pass, looks left. Now going to throw out in the flat to Blauman. Blauman fakes a man, gets the first down, and more up the near sideline. Still on his feet, cuts back at the 40 and then down at the 39-yard line. Well, I said he does things a little quietly, not so much that time as he tight ropes his way down the far sideline and takes it into Wall-High territory to the 39-yard line. First down for Wenatchee.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE.
Turning, that's what you have to do as a great running back, and he's got great vision too. He cut it back upfield, saw some green there, and a nice, 33-yard gain.
To the 39 of Walla Walla. 34 yards on that running play, down to the 39. High snap, Sermon gonna throw it up front. That's a pass, and it's incomplete as he was looking for Darius Carlson. Fake the pitch back to Blauman, wanted to pass ahead to Carlson, and Carlson hit as he had the ball coming to him. So it falls incomplete. A lot of fans are thinking, oh my gosh, that's a fumble, get on that ball, but no, it's a pass forward. So it'll be the second down over again from the 39. And that's one of the rare plays that hasn't worked for Wenatchee tonight.
Exactly.
Second down and 10, ball right hash mark. He'll have two receivers to the short side right, one wide left, and then Sermon's going to turn, fake the handoff. Here comes the end around of Bowles. Bowles has some room over there to the 35 and then hit hard and then dropped as the man was trying to make the block for him, but then he's tumbled down by Manguereros all over the place tonight here for Wahai. It'll be a gain to the 35, call it 3rd and 6 coming up.
An interesting fact, Eric, when the Big 9 split up and the Mid-Columbia Conference was formed, Walla Walla was the only dissenting team among all the teams down in that area. They wanted to stay in the Big 9 and keep this kind of rivalry going with Wenatchee.
I'll tell you, I've called a lot of games between Walla Walla and Wenatchee back in the day, and here we're going to get offsides, I think, against the defense again as the offensive line does that little hitch. But they're going to call, the official says, no, that's going to be against the offense.
So when you do that, if you even flinch forward.
Yeah, it's tough for the offensive line because you stand up like that and you don't want to assimilate the snap. And that's where they get into trouble, is if they assimilate the snap. So if the quarterback goes, hoot, and then they all stand up like that, well, the defense, of course, is going to come offline. Right. So they'll face third down over again. They'll put them back at the 40-yard line on the 5-yard penalty. And again, penalty situation for Wenatchee tonight. 4 penalties, 41 yards. Walla Walla just one penalty so far in 5 yards. As Thomas and Carlson will be joined by Bowles to the far side of the field right here for Sermon on a 3rd and long. Sermon back to pass, getting flushed out of the pocket by Mangarero. He'll throw out in the flat, the ball too far in front of J.J. Jelsing, and it will fall incomplete, and it'll be a 4th down coming up for the Panthers.
And that's exactly what Sermon needed to do there. You mentioned sometimes he holds the ball a little bit too long. He got rid of it there. Nobody else could get to it. That was a good play by the youngster.
So the Panthers will punt the football away with 4:21 to go as the clock stops on the incomplete pass. It has been all Wenatchee in this first half. Kind of struggling a little bit, I could say, here in the second quarter. And really, like you said, Grant, the offense hasn't done too much tonight because they've been given short fields to work with all night long.
The defense has played so well. A lot of gifts, a couple of interceptions, and the offensive Panthers have made them pay for it.
So the punt by Fadas Nasser will go off the side of his foot and will bounce and take a Wenatchee bounce inside the 20 and go out of bounds at the 14-yard line. So the first time Wenatchee does not score on a possession here tonight, I believe. As let's see, Blauman touchdown on their first possession. Sermon to Coons on a touchdown in their second possession.
I think you're right.
Sermon a touchdown run on their third possession. Yeah, that was their 4th possession. First time they punted here tonight. So 4:14 to go in the first half. Walla Walla will have it. Pretty good punt there by Fadas Nasser as he goes out of bounds with it. They'll put it down at the 13-yard line, and that's where the Blue Devils will have it. Our broadcast brought to you by One Way Construction, a premier custom home builder and construction company for North Central Washington, including general contracting, framing, concrete, and consultation services online at onewayconstructionnw.com. So the Devils have it first down and 10 from their own 13. Swant turn, handoff Wick. He bounced off a man in the backfield, spins away from another man, but then has stood up and driven back at about the 20-yard line. Pretty good gain that time. Panthers had somebody right there in the hole, but they missed the tackle. Finally, it for the Panthers was Christofferson who stood him up and made the stop, but not before he got 7 yards on first down.
By far his best run of the night. All runs, about 4 out of the 7 carries he's had, negative yardage so far.
Swant gets the play from the sideline as the clock runs under 4 minutes to go in the first half. Wahai looking for their first points. They missed a 22-yard field goal just a few moments ago. And they could have called Wick for moving early, and now a flag's going to come down, maybe a hold as Wick is going to get himself a first down, at least right now.
I think it's coming back, Eric.
As he'll tumble ahead to the 25-yard line, and we'll see on that flag.
There was holding.
Yeah, that flag came down from the umpire, usually in that position where it's hold and Walla Walla marching backwards here. So 10-yard penalty. I think they got to march at half the distance as they're inside the 20. So from the 18, they'll go down to the 9-yard line on a half the distance call. If I'm doing my math correctly here, Grant.
I think you did.
We'll see. Second penalty of the game against Wahai for 15 yards. They put the ball at the 12.
They put it at the 18.
No, it's right now sitting at the 13-yard line.
Yeah.
Should be down at the 9 if the penalty flag was at the 18.
13, right.
Penalty flag was at the 18-yard line. Half the distance from the point of the foul. The officials are out there talking about it right now. They need an abacus to do the math here. It should be the 9-yard line.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Our umpire, Ray Snook, is telling him, hey, you know, math was not my strong point in high school. He turned to the linebacker and said, yeah, well, bad on me. All right, here we go. Second down and long here for Wahai. They throw it out of the backfield. Again, Ashcraft comes up with the ball, or Ashbeck, I should say. Not a lot going there as, again, Wenatchee just smothering everything that Wahai throws at him. Darius Carlson quickly up on the stop, gain out to the 11. Just 2 yards on the pass play from Swant to Ashbeck. Ashbeck's caught, what, 4 or 5 balls here tonight?
He has. He's caught 1, 2, 4 balls.
So he's been basically pretty much their only offense. Second quarter score now. Eastbourne on top of Moses Lake, 21-0. So same score that we have here, 21-zip. Panthers on top. Wahai facing third down and 11 from their own 11-yard line. Swamp back to pass, has pressure. And not going to let go of him that time, and they're going to drop him for a big loss. Omar Cruz got in there first for the Panthers, and a loss on the play all the way back. We're going to get a timeout taken by Wenatchee. A good choice by the Panthers. They want to preserve some time on the clock. They've got 3 timeouts. They'll put the ball down at the 7-yard line, loss of 4 yards. And Walla just having a difficult time getting anything going.
On the ground, it is just, it's still negative yards for the game in this first half on the ground for Walla Walla.
Our broadcast brought to you in part tonight by The Windmill, a time-tested restaurant providing traditional steakhouse meals and a homey, old-fashioned dining room. Open 7 days a week, 4:30 to 9. Call 509-665-9529. That's 509-665-9529. Also by the good folks at Charter College. Charter Types Find Solutions. Are you a charter type? They work to get you to work. Call 509-415-3576. That's 509-415-3576. Along with Grant Olson, Eric Grandstrom with you. Honestly, don't know who's going to join me in the booth next week. I'm trying to put some pressure on my old friend Phil Zakowski, head coach who retired last year out of Kashmir.
That would be cool.
I would love it if Phil would do it. He asked me last night, we were texting back and forth, and he said, can I watch some film so I don't sound like an idiot?
Sound like an old coach. Can I watch some film?
I said, certainly. Now, Wahi's had some interesting snaps so far here tonight, and their punter, McCalvey, standing about 3 yards shy of the end line on the end zone as he's way deep. Dalton Thomas inside the 40 to return this punt, and Wenatchee jumped off sides. Oh, you hate to see that. Fadas Nasser got a little bit too anxious over on the far side of the field there.
And 5 yards is what they need to kind of get
some breathing room.
Yeah, right, for the punter.
Yeah, to get that normal distance between the center, the long snapper, and the punter here, as McCalvey still in his own end zone, but only about 3 yards deep now. Dalton Thomas will sit back at about the 45 to return this punt. Good pass from center. Good high end over end kick.
Holy
My
cow.
goodness, that about brought rain. Dalton Thomas has no choice but to just make a fair catch there.
Great kick.
Absolutely. Our best one we've seen in a long time in high school football. So Wenatchee will have it with 2:11 to go in the half and 3 timeouts and a first down. They'll put it at the 48. So a 41-yard punt and no return. And that had a hang time like crazy.
Now here's a great opportunity for the Panthers to work on like their 2-minute offense.
Yeah.
A great opportunity, good field position.
And 3 timeouts.
Right.
So first down, that means you have a chance to throw down over the middle. Maybe following a Riley Coons here on a 20-yard pass play over the middle and then just call a timeout. First down and 10 from the Wahi 48-yard line. High snap from center, turn handoff Blauman. Blauman strips away from one man, but then is tackled down hard at the 44. Clock continues to wind here as it was Colby Turner and company coming up on the stop for Wahi.
Hurry up for the Panthers now.
4-yard gain for Blauman, under 2 minutes to go here in the half. 2 receivers wide right, 1 wide left. Sermon wants to pass this time. Has some time, rolling to his right, throwing downfield. The ball is caught. Oh my, Darius Carlson came up with it when it looked like it might be either knocked away or picked off as the defender Colby Turner came stepping in, but Darius Carlson, good concentration to have that guy come flying by you and still come up with the ball for a gain all the way down to the Walla Walla 24-yard line. So a gain of 20 yards on the pass play. Shotgun again for Sermon. 2 tight ends set. We got a flag down here. We'll see what the penalty is. This could be against Wenatchee. It is. I think that Riley Coons lined up offsides. You hate to have that killer against the offense.
Well, on that big 20-yard play, it looked like they were right across from us up in our booth, that he did it then, too. He was up a little bit farther than the rest of the linemen.
Our broadcast brought to you by Walkabout Grill, where eating out is eating healthy in downtown Wenatchee and downtown Leavenworth. Coming up in halftime, of course, the halftime festivities here will include the Wenatchee Golden Apple Marching Band in a big performance, and we'll try to capture some of that with our cameras here at the Lee Bofto Field of the Apple Bowl. 2 tight ends set here for Sermon on 1st and 15. Fakes the handoff, throws down over the middle. The ball is incomplete, but we're going to get a flag down, as I believe Darius Carlson was knocked down on his pass pattern. The coverage by Keldon Swant, And also Colby Turner down there. Turner with his palms up to the sky, so he must be the guilty party.
I think Jelsing was interfered with too. I'm not sure if it was the Carlson defender or Jelsing.
So that'll be a penalty from the previous spot. We'll see if they mark it off properly this time. There's 5. There's 10. And there's 15. And it will be close to a first down, but not quite. That's not an automatic first down on a pass interference. So it'll be 2nd down and 1 as they'll put the ball down just inside the 15-yard line. Need the 14 for the first down. Minute 9 to go. Seems like we've been stuck at that time for quite a while now.
It does.
21-0 Panthers on top. Jelsing will split out wide to the left here. Blauman and Sermon in the backfield. Sermon gets the snap from center, throwing to Blauman, overthrew him, had him wide open, maybe for a touchdown.
Open. He was totally wide open there.
3rd down coming up and 1 from the 15. And again, there was some pressure leaking through the line of scrimmage there, Grant, but he had time, and we saw that a few times last week at Sunnyside and the 14-10 loss where Sermon just missed some open guys.
And you can see Blauman clapping his hands together. He knew he had a touchdown there if the ball would have been there, but it is a young quarterback.
It is.
And he's played well in this half.
He certainly has. They gave him some comfort blankets in that first quarter of giving him some nice, safe pass plays. Sermon again gets the pass from center, looks left, now scrambles out of the pocket, gets away from 2 men, going to throw to the end zone. The ball is caught down there for the touchdown.
What a great throw.
Holy cow, how about that? The touch and the catch. Riley Coons with the touchdown for the Panthers from 15 yards out. They extend the lead to 27-0.
2nd touchdown of the night now for Coons, a 23-yarder, a 15-yarder. Also the 2nd touchdown passing for Sermon and 1 rushing. 3 touchdowns for the sophomore in this first half.
Well, Sermon, maybe they just need to roll him opposite his arm more often. Rolling to his left there, throwing off of 1 foot, and found Coons in the end zone for the 15-yard strike. The extra point on the way and good. We'll take a 60-second break and come back with 57 seconds left in the first half. All Wenatchee here as they lead the Blue Devils 28-0. You're watching Wenatchee football on the NCWLIFE channel.
Channel. It's brought to you in part by the Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service. Located at 1205 Walnut Street in Wenatchee, thefireplaceguy.net. Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home. And the Windmill Restaurant, providing traditional steakhouse meals in a homey, old-fashioned dining room. Call 509-665-9529.
Hey everyone, so today I'm tackling Medical Assistant Ninja, trying to get that next level career. Man, this dead-end job is holding me back. Decision time, I'm going Charter College. Now I'm a medical assistant student. Rocking it? Yeah, earned the President's Award. Score! Took my career to the next level. Hey, I can level up to Medical Assistant Ninja, so can you. Get on it.
Well, Wenatchee took the timeout after a 41-yard punt. Got the ball back at the 48 of Walla Walla. And, well, Grant, you talked about a chance to do something with your offense. How about 5 plays, 48 yards, and a 15-yard touchdown pass from Sermon to Coons?
I just love how Sermon's playing tonight. That took some arm strength to throw that football into the end zone like that. A lot of times you roll to your left, you underthrow it. Boy, not that time. Great throw.
So, let's see. That was minute 14 off the clock in that drive as the high end over a kick will come down to Wick. Watch out. He's got a good return to the 35 and out near the 40-yard line. So Wenatchee trying a few different things here to try to corral the return men for Walla Walla as the Blue Devils will have it first down just near the 40-yard line. See if they chalk it up. They will. That's an official's term, Grant.
Chalk it up?
Yep. If it's near a yard line, then you put the tip of the ball at the yard line.
Gotcha.
So they chalk it, put it on the chalk.
And that's what it's doing.
Yep. So first down from the 40. Swant gonna take it and keep it himself, and boy, he may have wanted to think better of that as he is spun down on the play, and then offering a hand down to him to pick him up as Derek Graham just lovely from the defensive end position, loss of a yard on the play.
Well, that's exactly how you play that position. He fought off that block from the right tackle and made a beautiful stop on what? Loss of about 4. Well, maybe just a couple.
Just a yard loss, I think they'll say, to the 39. So second down and timeout taken. We've got a gargantuanly long halftime coming up. It's homecoming. You'd expect it.
Yep.
And so we have the Applettes first will perform, followed by the Golden Apple Marching Band. And then, of course, the royalty announcements here, homecoming. Now, you were royalty, right?
I was.
You were a homecoming king, were you?
Candidate, yes.
A candidate?
Yes. My
Okay.
twin brother was the king.
Oh, you're kidding. Well, then you kind of
I kind of took that personally.
Well, but you split it, don't you? I mean,
no, it was his.
He must have had a better personality than you.
He probably did. What about you? What about you?
I was a junior prom king.
Gotcha.
But not homecoming. Homecoming, my senior year, was my most fun dance of all of the dances I went to, because there was all that pressure about, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to go to the swanky dinner, you got to get the limo
flowers,
and
the
get all
corsage.
the stuff. And they're going to hand it off to Wick, and he's got nothing but purple jerseys around him. And he's just going to say, you know what, can you just blow the whistle, please? Going to get a timeout taken again by Wenatchee as the Panthers want to save some time on the clock and maybe get another chance for some offense here. Coming up that time, leading the attack for Wenatchee on that gang tackle was Gavin Corrigan. He's had a pretty good first half.
Everybody on the defense for Wenatchee seems to be making plays tonight. We've mentioned a different player, it seems like, on every good play.
Eric Mendoza out there again on the defense. He's swapping back and forth with Omar Cruz out there for the Panthers. Third down coming up from the 35. It'll be 3rd and 15 coming up for Wahai.
And if you're Walla, Eric, you don't do anything crazy here. Try and get some points. Maybe you don't want to give Wenatchee another interception.
Hand it to
like,
Wick.
That's
just go
right.
up the middle and let's punt the ball away. And
they've got a punter that can punt it 40, 50 yards.
So my homecoming, back to that story.
Right.
I went with my best friend Liz. And she's still my best friend from high school to this day. We both had significant others. We had boyfriend, girlfriend at the time.
Right.
But we said, heck with it. Let's go with each other. Let's go to McDonald's and screw this whole thing of spending a lot of money.
No limo, no nothing.
No,
Boy,
nope.
did you get off cheap.
I did.
Probably
So
one,
did
of the,
she,
probably
so-
one of the most fun proms
Oh,
you had.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was great, yeah. I wore a borrowed suit.
Pick the flower from your mom's garden.
See? Well, the only thing we would have had was a rhododendron. 3rd down and 15 from the 35. And again, handoff to Wick, and Wick dive play caught by Lloyd Hammer and company. And a gain of about 3 yards, going to bring up 4th down.
Now you just let your punter do his job here and pin Wenatchee down a little bit. The last thing you want is a bad snap or a bad catch of the snap. Anything like that would be just a killer for Walla Walla.
Well, they won't need to because there's 14 on the game
Right.
clock and 22 on the play clock. So they're just going to let it wind down here and head to the confines of the Pioneer side of the Lee Bofto field of the Apple Bowl and kind of shake their heads, will Walla Walla, and wonder what buzzsaw did we run into tonight.
Yes.
I guess that's why Wenatchee chose us for their homecoming game, as Wenatchee leads it here at halftime, 28-0. Wenatchee 14 points in the first quarter, 14 points in the second quarter, and trying to give themselves a nice tune-up before the Bridge of Sportsmanship a week from tonight right here on this same surface. We're going to take a break here at half as well and collect our breath and give you a little recap and give you also some of the halftime entertainment coming up as we are at half of the homecoming game between Wenatchee and Wahai, where the Panthers lead the Blue Devils 28-0. We're back after this 2-minute timeout.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your cars, and Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, friendly, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel. Brought to you by One Way Construction, premier custom home builders and construction company for North Central Washington, including general contracting, framing, concrete, and consulting services. OneWayConstructionNW.com. The Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service, located at 1205 Walla Street, Wenatchee. TheFireplaceGuy.net. And Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home.
Welcome back once again to Lee Bofto Field here at the Apple Bowl, and we're going to go right down to the field. Our camera angle is not the greatest because they're faced away from the cameras, but this is the Applettes from Wenatchee High School. There you go, the Applettes tonight here at halftime. Homecoming at Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl, where the Wenatchee Panthers lead the Walla Blue Devils 28-0. A quick recap of that first half as we get ready for the Golden Apple Marching Band to come out and entertain. Wenatchee gets an interception on Walla's first possession of the football game on a third down at their own 30-yard line. The interception by J.J. Jelsing puts Wenatchee in business. First down at the Walla 35. They would go 7 plays and 35 yards, and a one-yard touchdown run from Nate Blauman put the Panthers up 7-0 with 7:20 to go in the first quarter of play. Next possession for Walla, 3 plays and out and a punt, and Wenatchee would take the ball this time 10 plays, 62 yards. Sermon would hit Coons on a 23-yard touchdown pass, and the extra point made it 14-0 at that point with 10:36 to go. And Wenatchee just all over Walla in that first half of play. Another interception by the Panthers by Nasser would give the Panthers first down at the 1-yard line. Sermon took it in from a yard out. That made it 21-0. Panthers would add another touchdown on a 5-play, 48-yard drive right before halftime. And the touchdown, Sermon to Coons this time for 15 yards out. And they would lead 28-0. That's where we are at halftime. The Golden Apple Marching Band now entertaining here at halftime of this homecoming crowd at Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. Enjoy it. There you go, the Golden Apple Marching Band from Wenatchee High School here at halftime, where the Wenatchee Panthers lead the Walla High Blue Devils on homecoming night 28-0. We're back after this on the NCWLIFE channel.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Hello, and what is up? Welcome to Career Shift Business Edition. I've got 3 choices: certificate, associates, and bachelor's. I'm going associates. And I'm enrolled. Stay alert, this game moves pretty fast. Whoa, exams almost did me in. I'm back on track and picking up speed. And I'm in the home stretch. Degree complete, and I'm ready to go to work. Charter helped me make that career shift. Your turn.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel. It's brought to you in part by the Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service. Located at 1205 Walnut Street in Wenatchee, thefireplaceguy.net. Beneficial in-home care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home. And the Windmill Restaurant, providing traditional steakhouse meals in a homey, old-fashioned dining room. Call 509-665-9529.
Guten Samir das Problem sagen.
Meinen Zylinder überschwingt. Flute, ich habe mein Fuken verloren.
Keine Sorge.
Global Car Care. We speak your car's language.
Fragen schließen. How you?
Well, I got a leaky transmission, my head gasket's shot, and I could use some new brake pads.
That dog don't hunt.
Global Car Care. We speak your car or truck's language.
Okay, let's go down to the introduction for our Royal Court here for halftime of homecoming. Sophia Garcia is out on the field right now, and the rest of the announcements being made.
Now, let's make some noise for our sophomore homecoming princess, McKenna White, and our prince, Joe Dory. McKenna's parents are Christy and Will White. She's involved in Sportsmed and DECA. Joe's parents are Natalie and DJ Dory. He's involved in cross country and basketball.
Beautiful dresses on our Royal Court here tonight for homecoming, but more like it's May than October.
Our junior homecoming princess, Kennedy Wilkins and Prince Riley Coons.
I wonder if we were going to get a football player out there.
Kennedy's parents are Tia and Jerry Wilkins. She's an editor in yearbook, dances at Fabulous Speed Dance Studio, and is involved in ASB. Riley's parents are Hyde and Greg Coons. He's involved in sports, honor society, and is junior class president. Now, let's meet the 2018 Senior Homecoming Court, which was determined by nominations, school voting, and teacher recommendations. Couple number 1 is Jessica Gutierrez and Mason Brown. Jessica's parents are Ron and Tanya Brown. Jessica's favorite actor is Lightning McQueen. Mason's father is John Brown, and his sisters are Nicole and Haley Brown. Mason has to order his pants online because he's too skinny and tall and identifies as a giraffe. Couple number 2 is Mariana Santos and Ethan Harris. Mariana's parents are Maria and Pascal Santos. Mariana and her friend both wanted to die during cross country, but it's okay because they're part of the sister squad now.
I don't know if you can see it or not, but they're both wearing Crocs. Purple and gold Crocs. Gotta love it.
And like shaking what his mama gave him. Couple number 3 is Bailey White and Cole Hansen. Bailey's parents are Chrissy and Will White. She likes to jump in the river with her clothes on. Cole's parents are Heather and Michael Jackson. Cole has webbed toes.
Also feet festooned in purple Crocs.
There are 3 boxes, and each couple will open their box, and whoever opens the box with the silver and gold balloons will be this year's senior homecoming king and queen. On my word, couples, open your boxes. Drum roll, please. Couples, you may now open your boxes.
Off we go. In the center, Bailey Wyatt and Cole Hansen, the 2018 homecoming queen and king for Wenatchee High School.
Let's give a final round of applause to your 2018 homecoming royalty.
There you go, the royalty selection here at halftime of this matchup between the Wenatchee Panthers and the Walla Walla Blue Devils. 28-0 the score here at halftime. We'll come back with more here at Lebofto Field of the Apple Bowl next on the NCWLIFE channel.
What's your Automocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate Frappuccino.
Definitely espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha Frappitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Where will you be a year from now? You could be working as a medical assistant. The Charter College Medical Assistant Certificate Program gets you work ready in 10 months. Add 5 more months to earn an associate degree. We prepare you with hands-on training and support you after graduation with job search help and interview skills. Institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, Charter has been training healthcare professionals for more than 30 years. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel. Brought to you by One Way Construction, premier custom home builders and construction company for North Central Washington, including general contracting, framing, concrete, and consulting services. OneWayConstructionNW.com. The Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service, located at 1205 Walnut Street, Wenatchee. TheFireplaceGuy.net. And Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Welcome back once again to the Apple Bowl here, where the Panthers lead the Blue Devils 28-0 here at halftime. Our broadcast brought to you in part by the Windmill Restaurant of Wenatchee, priding itself on being a local legend for 80 years. The Windmill features slow roasted prime rib, highest quality hand-cut steaks, and fresh seafood. Homemade dressings and pies are made daily and are the mainstay of this legendary landmark restaurant. The Windmill has a full bar and excellent selection of beer and wine from which to choose. Call the Windmill today at 665-9529. Well, Grant Olson is poring over the stats here, and Well, you're up 28-0. I assume that probably all Wenatchee first half, eh?
Very lopsided, Eric. Yeah, we'll begin with rushing for Walla Walla. Josiah Wick, 9 carries, -4 yards in that first half. The quarterback, Keldon Schwant, had 3 carries, -14 yards and more. The other running back who came in late had a couple of carries, 2 carries for 3 yards. So that's -15 yards rushing in that first half for Walla Walla. Wow. Meanwhile, in the passing game, Keldon Schwant, it wasn't a whole lot better. He was 5 of 14, 32 yards and 2 interceptions. Well, Joe Terry came in through that 1 pass on the fake punt, 1 pass for 13 yards, so 45 yards total passing, 30 total yards in that first half for Walla Walla. Meanwhile, for Wenatchee, a much better scenario. Blauman, 9 carries, 34 yards and a touchdown. Camden Sermon, also 3 carries, 8 yards and a touchdown. Jelsing, a carry for 7 yards. Bowles as well, 1 carry for 4 yards, 53 yards in the first half on the ground for the Panthers. Who would have thought they had more yards passing or would have more yards than rushing? Camden Sermon, 8 of 13, 136 yards and 2 touchdowns in that first half. A total for Wenatchee first half yardage, 189. So 189 to 30, indicative of that 28-0 score.
Well, and 2 interceptions that gave the Panther offense short yardage, 1 time at the 35-yard line, 1 time at the 1-yard line, as defense dominant in that first half for the Panthers. Our broadcast brought to you by One Way Construction. Founded in 2000, One Way is a premier custom home builder and construction company in Leavenworth, Cashmere, Chelan, Wenatchee, heck, all of north central Washington. Whether your project requires general contracting, framing, concrete, or consultation services, they want to be part of making your vision a reality. They believe that great communication and customer service plays the most important role of a successful construction project. Find them on the web, onewayconstructionnw.com. Well, they got that mandatory 3-minute warm-up. The team's coming out of the locker room, and we'll get ready for second half action after this 2-minute timeout. Again, all Wenatchee in this first half as they lead Wahai 28-0. You're watching Panther football tonight on the NCWLIFE channel. Back with a second half right after this.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel. It's brought to you in part by the Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service. Located at 1205 Walnut Street in Wenatchee, thefireplaceguy.net. Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home. And the Windmill Restaurant, providing traditional steakhouse meals in a homey, old-fashioned dining room. Call 509-665-9529.
Können Sie mir das Problem sagen?
Meinen Zylinder überschwingt. Flute, ich habe Fugen verloren.
Keine Sorge.
Global Car Care. We speak your car's language.
Fragen schließen. Hey, you!
Well, I got a leaky transmission, my head gasket's shot, and I could use some new brake pads.
That dog don't hunt.
Global Car Care. We speak your car or truck's language.
Well, the team's warming up, getting ready for the second half here on the NCWLIFE channel as we bring you the matchup next to the last game of the season. And I'm sorry, Grant, I can't help but think to next week.
Well, I think it's okay to do that right now. Both teams, they had 28-0 in their respective games, and boy, it's going to be one of the biggest Eastmont-Wenatchee matchups that I can think of in a long time, Eric.
Oh, yeah.
You've been around a long time,
Absolutely.
too, and it's going to be huge. The excitement level here will be unbelievable.
Well, and as the season progressed, we kept looking at that. Wow, look at that. Eastmont's 2-0, Wenatchee's 3-0, and Big 9, 4-0, and 3-0, and then Wenatchee stumbles last week at Sunnyside, and we talked about that. We talked about that game being one of those that, I don't know, if Wenatchee doesn't just play complete 4 quarters of football, they could fall. And sure enough, really Sunnyside 2 big plays in the game, and that was the difference as they knock off Wenatchee 14-10 last week. So Wenatchee stumbles. Eastmont, we had the game on our broadcast last week against Eisenhower. Get a victory again, stay undefeated. Now they're traveling to Moses Lake tonight, and then the battle for not just the Bridge of Sportsmanship trophy, but the regular season Big 9 crown here next Friday.
How big is that? It's just amazing. We're going to see a packed house here, overflow crowd.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of special things planned for the pregame.
We do. We're going to start the pregame at 6 o'clock, so an hour pregame tailgate from the end zone. We're going to make some special announcements. We're going to have some special guests. We're going to have the radio broadcast crew for both the Panthers and the Wildcats join us
on
our
idea.
tailgate show. We also, all next week on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with Dan Kuntz in the morning, you're going to have a Panther helmet and a Wildcat helmet sitting on the desk in front of him. We're going to see if Steve Hare will put on the Eastmont helmet and Dan will put on the Wenatchee helmet by Friday, and they'll just collide and both be in the concussion protocol for the weekend.
It'll look like 2 players from the longest yard they recruited.
Yeah. So, big plans coming up next week here. They also, next week at halftime, will have that fundraiser again. They did last year at halftime for Special Olympics, where they do a relay race, a horse race, out on the field at halftime.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. So we'll talk to the combatants in that as well on the pregame show next week. So be sure and join us right here on the NCWLIFE channel. So here we go, ready to kick off. Seamus Hall will kick it away for Wahi. A high short kick will be taken on a fair catch by the up man there. And that will be coming up with the football for the Wenatchee Panthers, number 88, Josh Bouchon.
Not a bad, pretty smart play there, actually. Yeah. You don't want to get yourself into any trouble. You still have some decent field position now near the 35-yard line, so a heads-up play.
11:58, a whole 2 seconds wind off the clock here as we get ready to start our second half on the NCWLIFE channel. That kickoff, by the way, brought to you by Swoboda Photography, creating a custom boutique experience on location or at their studio in Leavenworth. Call 509-888-6654. Panthers get the football first, lead it 28-0, and I'm sure that Coach Devereaux would love nothing more than to just come right down the field here. Pressure in the backfield, but then they pick up that pressure. Nice job of blocking. The throw high, but caught at the 48-yard line. And a first down for the Panthers, and Blauman on the catch out to the 48.
Sermon a little bit high on that pass, which he tends to do once in a while, but a great catch by Blauman out of the backfield.
Well, he definitely has been the security blanket for Camden Sermon. Just, do a little chip block coming out of the backfield and then swinging out, usually in the flat, but Blauman went downfield a little bit further on that one. So they'll put it down at the 47-yard line, a gain of 13 yards on the pass play for Camden Sermon with a first down and 10. High snap over his head. The ball still loose, and I think it's going to be covered by the Blue Devils. Well, we saw that last week on a problem with the center quarterback exchange. The ball recovered by Walla Walla's Cole Schmidt. And really the first mistake of the ball game comes at a crucial time here in the second half, and will give the Blue Devils good field position at the Wenatchee 35.
It's the first time I've seen Jacob Christensen, the center, do that all season long. He's been money on the snap to a Sermon, and just over his head there, and a turnover for the Panthers. We'll see if Walla now can get some kind of momentum going here in this second half with great field position.
Well, you talk about that. The one way to get momentum is to have your defense come up with a play. And it wasn't so much a defensive play, but they had to get back there and cover it, and Schmidt does. So it's first down at the 35 of Wenatchee. Walla football, and they fumble the snap, almost give it right back. And the quarterback, Swan, just had the ball come to him, and he just dropped it.
That was an amazing play right there. Anticipating the snap by Jaden Christensen coming in there and almost getting the handoff before Wick got
I
it.
think what that did is that caused their center to lift his head up. Jerry Corona, the center, I think saw Christofferson coming in over his head, and that caused him to snap that ball a little bit low and dropped by Swant. And
what do you think? Swant's getting a little predictable on his snap counts here.
Swant gets a snap here on a short count, now throws over the middle. The ball is caught. Again, it's the man who's done most of the damage here offensively, Ashbeck, on the catch as he's tumbled down quickly at the 33-yard line, gain of 6 yards.
So that's 5 catches, 32 yards now in the night for Ashbeck. Pretty much like you said, all the offense for Walla Walla.
Be 3rd and long coming in. That's been a theme here for the Blue Devils in this game. 3rd and 9 coming up from the 33 of Wenatchee after the fumble snap and the recovery by the Blue Devils. Watch out for McKelvey wide to the right side. Low snap again. Swant flush from the pocket, throws, and he's going to just throw this one away into the feet of I think Wick was the closest guy there. Incomplete pass brings up 4th down.
Good pressure once again by Ronan Haynes from his defensive line position. He has been in a lot of plays. He did have the penalty against Schwant in the first half, but he has been very aggressive from his position tonight.
Yeah, great job by Ronan Haynes and Omar Cruz and Derek Graham and Chase Lloydhammer. Again, a stalwart defensive line here for the Wenatchee Panthers. They'll go for it on 4th down, trailing by 4 touchdowns. Of course you would. As the clock stopped on the incomplete with 10:01 to go here in the 3rd quarter. 28-0, Panthers on top. Low snap again. Swamp in the pocket, now flushed, now runs to his left, now scrambles back to his right into Lloydhammer, who missed the tackle, but then he's tackled down by Omar Cruz. It'll be a loss on the play again, back to the 38-yard line, loss of 5 yards, and it goes over on downs.
Well, you could hear that hit by Lloydhammer all the way up here in the booth. That kid is lanky, 6'5", very tall defensive end, but he can hit when he gets a hold of you.
So it'll be 1st down for Wenatchee. Well, I guess the fumble, net gain on the defensive stop is plus 3 yards.
It's minus 24 yards now rushing for Walla Walla in this game.
Wenatchee football, 1st down and 10 from its own 38-yard line, and they'll turn, hand it off to Blauman. Blauman had a gap, makes one man miss, and then drags another man across the 45 out to the 46-yard line.
Blauman is like he doesn't even take that first tackler seriously. He thinks, I'm going to go through you anyway, so where do I go from here? That's exactly what he did. He's an amazing runner.
It's almost like he's Arnold Schwarzenegger out there in a bad movie. You need nothing to me. You're a little man. Two. Thanks for the coffee at halftime.
Yeah, right.
All right, here we go. Handoff again to Blauman. This time, and one of the few times, he is tackled by the first man who comes up to wrestle him down. Cody Rasmussen, the 5'9", 180-pound sophomore, wraps him up. It'll be 3rd down for the Panthers.
A rare loss on a play for the Panthers tonight. The first for Blauman as a runner. Doesn't he remind you a little bit at times, Eric, of the all-time leading rusher here at Wenatchee High School, Jacob Sealby?
Yes.
Got the power to go through that first guy, but then has the speed to burn you if he gets into the secondary.
Absolutely. There's a name from the past. I haven't thought about Sealby in quite a while. So 3rd down coming up, and a rare 3rd for Wenatchee here in the game. 3rd and 3 from the Panther 45-yard line. Sermon gets a snap, rolls out, throws out in the flat. The ball caught out there. 1st down and more across midfield, and then finally tumbled out of bounds on the near sideline towards our cameras that time. And is that Dalton Thomas on the catch? Man with golden shoes, I think it is.
Another great throw that time by Sermon. Rolling to his left. He likes throwing that pass, that's for sure. He led the receiver, Thomas. Perfect pass.
12 yards on the pass play to the 43 of Wahai. Panthers up 28-0, trying to add to that differential here. 3 receivers wide right, 2 left. Sermon back to pass. Here comes the pressure. Throws over the middle. The ball juggled and then dropped at the 28 of Walla Walla, as they were looking for that time youngster that doesn't get in the lineup too much. I think, or who was that? Was that Blauman on the pass coverage? Yeah, it was Blauman.
It was.
So he was out of the backfield. He was lined up as a slot receiver to the right. That's why it looked odd. No, it wasn't Blauman. It was Jackson Bowles. Jackson Bowles, the antenna receiver. Incomplete, nonetheless, brings up 2nd and 10 for the 43. And pressure by Walla Walla.
And a tough throw into double coverage there.
Blue Devils again bring, 6 men to the line of scrimmage. Here
Blitz.
they come again. They'll throw a pass back here, and the ball through the hands of Carlson. And Bowles had it, but then dropped it. That was kind of an awkward-looking play for the Panthers. If they get that through and get that set up correctly with blockers in front, he's in the end zone.
And the way Carlson came back to the ball, it looked like he was the intended receiver at first, didn't it?
Yeah. So they'll move the ball back to the left hash mark here on a third down play, and 10 to go from the 43. They'll leave Bowles and Thomas and Carlson wide to the far side of the field to the right from our camera's perspective. Of course, that's the opposite of our perspective because we're across from the cameras up here in the booth. Sermon rolling to his right, looking, and now going to be hit and then throws the ball away, and they're going to call a grounding on the quarterback. He didn't get the ball near any receiver, and he was just trying to avoid the sack there. So that's a spot foul.
Loss of down, too, Eric.
On a grounding against Sermon. Good idea to get rid of the football, but
just a little too late.
Just waited too long there.
Oh, he's such a competitor, isn't he, Eric? He just wants to make something happen.
No, there's no doubting his gut performance, that's for sure. Our broadcast brought to you by Alignment Pros and Express Lube. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pro and Express Lube, including front and four-wheel alignment online at alignpros.com or at 182 Eastmont Avenue. So the grounding call, they'll move it back. That's 7 penalties now and 56 yards against the Panthers as they'll put the ball at the 45-yard line.
Penalties lopsided tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, it is. Only 2 penalties against Walla. So Fadas Nasser will drop back inside his own 35-yard line to punt this ball away. James Moore and Josiah Wick back to return the punt. It'll be Moore coming up on the run at the 25-yard line, and then just bowled backwards. Dalton Thomas, I think one of the first ones to get there for Wenatchee, along with Jaden Christopherson. No chance for a return there by the return man James Moore.
It almost looked like he was going back to hand it off to Wick, didn't it? Maybe some kind of play in the backfield there.
Maybe so. So one of the rare opportunities for Wenatchee that does not end in points, as Wahai will get the ball back. First down from its own 25-yard line with 7:33 to go here in the third. Nobody has scored yet in this third quarter. As the Blue Devil Swant will turn, hand it to Wick, dancing, and trying to find a gap somewhere, but Jax Tucker finally says, you're going to stop right here.
No gain. At least it wasn't a loss for Wick that time. He's had a rough one tonight.
It has been. By the way, we should send along a score here for the Wenatchee Wild. Good night for the Wild against Alberni Valley, trying to pick up their 3rd win in a row. Looks like that might happen tonight in the 3rd period, leading at the Town Toyota Center 5-1. We haven't given you a baseball score in a while, as they are now in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Dodgers have 2 on.
2 aboard for the Dodgers, but now it's tied at 1. You mentioned that 1 run would not be enough, and sure enough, it was a home run by Jackie Bradley Jr.
against Kenley Jansen, the Dodger closer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incomplete pass on that 2nd down play for Wahai brings up 3rd down from the 25.
Oh, yeah, spoiler alert.
yeah. Oh,
Sorry.
we forgot to mention that. Sorry about that. Meanwhile, in the 3rd quarter at Moses Lake tonight, Eastmont all over the Chiefs, 35-0.
Wow, that's impressive. But Moses Lake has been the most underachieving team this year, haven't they? They were picked so high in the Big 9 preseason.
Well, they're back-to-back defending champs the
Right.
last 2 seasons. Wenatchee jumps off sides here. And again, another penalty against the defense as Eric Mendoza, right across from the football, jumps across the line. That'll drive your defensive coach crazy.
And for Walla Walla, 3rd and 6, much better than 3rd and 11.
They'll bring the ball out to the 30. Need to get to the 35. Well, they put the ball just shy of the 30, so the 29 officially. So a short 6 coming up. 6:52 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Homecoming night here at Wenatchee High School, and congratulations to Bailey Wyatt and Cole Hansen, if my bum ears heard correctly. Back to pass Swant, throwing out of the backfield to Wick. Wick on a swing pass to the 30. Dances, trying to get around 2 defenders over there. And again, Wenatchee just swarming defense here tonight as Jelsing comes up on the far side. and helps to knock him out of bounds along with the defensive Carlson. It'll be 4th down for Wahai after a gain of just a yard.
Schwant just can't get anything going through the air now. Now he's 7 out of 16 for 38 yards.
McCalvey will drop back to punt inside his own 20-yard line. Dalton Thomas standing his own 40, expecting decent field position here. Now, Wahai did fake a punt in the first half. They snap it back to the punter this time and almost got through to block it.
What a kick.
Thomas calls for a fair catch and will do so at the Wenatchee 30-yard line.
41-yard punt that time. What a kicker.
My goodness. So not a lot of offense happening for either team here in the second half. Our broadcast brought to you by Automoca. What's your Automoca emergency? Visit one of their 6 locations in the valley, including the only Automoca with inside seating on 5th Street across from the college. Again, we will have more sports coming up next week as we're winding the season down quickly here in the fall. There will be some playoff soccer Tuesday night here at the Apple Bowl. Wenatchee, the number 2 seed in the Big Nine, will host the highest remaining seed from the play-in games this weekend. That very well could be Eastmont. We'll have that Tuesday right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Hand off to Blauman. Nice stiff arm there. Cuts it back against the grain and maybe got, I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage. Going to be a loss on the play. Good pursuit that time by Wahai.
Second consecutive loss of yardage now for Blauman on his last 2 carries.
You know, we saw that last time we did a game here. That second half, he kind of went backwards a little bit, and then they pulled him out and put his understudy in, who ran the ball well, Jax Tucker.
We haven't seen him yet tonight. No carries.
Second down coming up for the Panthers back at their own 27 after a loss of 3 yards on that first play. Handoff this time, dive play to Blauman, and Blauman gets across the 30, across the original line of scrimmage out to the 32 before he's wrestled down by Jamal Manguerrero. It's been a busy night for 55 for the Blue Devil defense.
And, you know, as tough a year as it's been for Walla Walla, defensively they do rank 3rd in the Mid-Columbia Conference. So the defense has been fairly solid tonight, other than the turnovers which led to Panther touchdowns. They played pretty good.
Yeah, the offense has not been the part that's helped them out, setting up Wenatchee in great field position. So 3rd down and long for the Panthers. 3rd and 8 coming up. High snap from center. They fake the handoff, rolling right. Now throwing down across his body. The ball caught by Coons across the 40 to the 41. Going to be a first down.
Just enough. Nice catch by Coons. He's got such soft hands for a big guy. Really impressive tight end. First team Big Nine last season.
Well, and I think he's on his way to that again. That was his, 3rd reception tonight? Something like that. It's a gain of 8 yards.
4th.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Check that. They're going to call it incomplete. I apologize.
Get his back to us, Eric. It may have hit the ground.
I thought that was a catch as we watched the replay here. Oh, yeah, it did hit the ground. Yep. Okay, so it'll be 4th down coming up from the 32 in a punting situation. Fadas Nasser, a wobbly kick end over end, will be fielded on a knee by the return man, James Moore, and they will put him down there at the 37. So first down for Walla Walla with 4:28 to go here in the 3rd, trailing at 28-0. So not a lot happening for either team here in this 3rd quarter. Our broadcast brought to you by Color Effects, offering screen printing, embroidery, digital printing, and logo design for your team, school, business, or church at a fair price. Locally owned for over 20 years. Call Color Effects at 509-741-7609. Well, Keldon Swant continues at quarterback for Wahai, trying to find some recipe as they hand it off to the second man through this time. Counter play goes for good yards. James Moore out across the 40 to the 41. Gain of 4 yards. It's something when I say a 4-yard gain is a really good one for Wahai on the night.
Talk about having a bad day. Josiah Wick, 11 carries now in the game, -8 yards, and he's also had 1 catch in the game, -10.
Well, every time they hand him the football, it seems he's got a purple helmet right around him as he gets the ball. Second down for the 41. Swant back to pass pressure, throwing the ball, tipped and then caught over there on the far side. What a catch by the receiver, Ashbeck. How about that? Nearly an interception, and then a reception, and then a first down to the Panther 43.
I think it was McKelvey over there, wasn't it? No, you're right, it was Ashbeck, who's had a nice night tonight. Really one of the only Blue Devils who had that. Yes. The Panthers tried to jump that route that time, almost made it work, but a nice concentration and catch.
16 yards on the pass play, one of the biggest gallops of yardage tonight for Wahai.
The biggest play of the night, Eric.
And a handoff to Wick, and he's caught in the backfield, and you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back as there's Lloydhammer tackling the running back for a loss of 3 yards back to the 46.
Run defense by the Panthers has been just lights out tonight. Great penetration by the defensive line. They blitzed quite a bit tonight, too, and why not?
Well, and one thing that's been impressive about Wenatchee's defense is they have blitzed, they have the run stop, they've been going upfield, but they've also been closing those lanes so that the running back's not getting by him.
Exactly.
Sometimes you can be over-aggressive and run past the running back. 2nd down, 13. Swant wants to throw it out in the flat again, throws out to Wick on the near side. And Wick is tumbled down around the line of scrimmage, maybe give him a yard or 2. We'll see where they spot it out. It will be back to the original line of scrimmage to the 43, a gain of 3 yards. So 3rd down and 10 coming up for Walla Walla. We've alluded to Grant not being here next week for the broadcast of the Bridge of Sportsmanship. Grant heading to Hawaii. I know everybody's a collective groan. I can hear them right now in their living rooms. They're collectively groaning right now.
Oh, it hit him in the leg.
Snap, and covering it, luckily, was Swant as he swarmed over back there. And 2nd or 3rd time that Wahai's had a problem with the snap tonight. They had a high snap on a punt, couple of high snaps on back to the quarterback, and now a 4th down, and they're going to punt the ball away. It would seem, although they faked it here earlier tonight in this position, as they're up back. The backup quarterback, Joe Terry, had the ball snapped directly to him. And he was able to find Ashbeck for a 1st down. Ashbeck will change sides here. And he'll go out to the slot to the right on this 4th down and 13. Good pass from center. High booming punt again. Is going to chase. In fact, the ball is going to trickle into the end zone. Back to return that time was Sebastian Esquivel for Wenatchee. Sebastian's probably thinking, fine, you get me in here finally to return a punt, and it sails over my head out of bounds.
McElvey has only averaged 31 yards per punt in the conference league play down in the Tri-Cities area. Tonight he's been more 40 to 45 yard average. You must like the air up here in Wenatchee.
So here's our possessions in the 2nd half, Grant. Fumble, over on downs, punt, 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 punt.
Yeah.
That's it. With 2:07 left in the 3rd, Wenatchee gets the ball back at its own 20-yard line. So it's been a yawner here in the 3rd quarter, as Sermon will switch bodies from left to right here as both Coons and Carlson, there's a dynamic duo, and a handoff to a man running like crazy. Blauman up the near sideline. He'll go in front of the Wahai bench and be bumped out of bounds after a gain of about 10 yards. And Nate kind of quietly picking up some pretty good yardage tonight.
He is. You know, he only had 34 yards at halftime, now at around 60 yards on the night when on 14 carries.
Well, Nate Blauman came into the game. We mentioned number 2 runner in the Big Nine, was looking for 1,000 yards tonight. He needed 63 yards for 1,000 on the season, so he's going to get
almost
real
there.
Close to it right now as a junior running back for the Wenatchee Panthers. Sermon, high pass from center, looked left, now looks left again, has pressure, stumbles, and then is taken down, maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Good job by Camden Sermon to not give up a sack there, as he was finally tackled down by Patrick Uczynski. The 6'1", 230-pounder was about the 3rd or 4th Blue Devil that had a shot at him, and it finally brings him down.
I love his competitiveness. He will not go down. He knew where that line of scrimmage was, and he got there. Just so competitive for a youngster.
Under a minute and a half left here of the 3rd quarter, as Wenatchee raced out to a 28-0 lead at halftime. That's where we sit still here as we wind our way through the 3rd quarter. Sermon directing traffic here as he sends a man through the motion, and now looking for him, going to direct traffic again, looking up the far sideline, looking for Dalton Thomas, but 8 on 8 there, and the better of it goes Colby Turner, knocks the pass down. 3rd down coming up.
Kind of a dangerous pass on the near sideline, right in front of the Wenatchee bench, but Sermon once again trying to make something happen. Now he's got a 3rd down and 10.
And a good job by Turner on the coverage there. And that's how you teach those DBs is use your sideline as your friend.
Absolutely.
Don't let that receiver have any room over there, and just keep continuing putting the pressure on him, make him run out of bounds. The quarterback has no place to throw the football. That was definitely the case there. 3rd and 10 for the Panthers. Trips to the left to the far side of the field. Back to pass, throwing back on a comeback pattern is Darius Carlson, and he's going to be corralled and dropped and losing a yard on the play as Carlson was tackled by 6 Blue Devils. One of the leading people there was Dylan Ashbeck, and they've tried that play a couple of times tonight. It has not worked.
It really hasn't. I think they're trying to get, Carlson out in space to use his athleticism a little bit and speed. Just didn't have any room to roam there.
James Moore and Josiah Wick will drop back to return this punt. Last time you said Moore looked like he was trying to get the ball back to Wick.
It did to me. See
if we have that kind of play again. Pass back from center is good to Fadas Nasser. Nasser's punt not very good, though, as it goes end over end and then takes a Wahai bounce on the other side of midfield before it's finally fielded there at the 49 of Wenatchee. So just an 18-yard punt. That hurts.
Boy, quick moving third quarter, isn't it?
Yeah, 22 seconds left in it as Wahai gets the ball back, and one of their best field positions of the game other than that fumbled snap. Our broadcast brought to you by Global Car Care, quality auto repair facility with highly trained technicians celebrating 25 years in the car care business. They speak your car's language at 1840 North Wenatchee Avenue. Becca Freeman back in the studio is probably wondering, when are we ever going to take a commercial break? Well, I kind of need a score for that to happen. So it just hasn't happened here in this third quarter. McCalvey goes wide to the far side, or to the near side for our cameras to the right. He's looking that way. Swant pressure, throws, the ball caught. Again, it is Ashbeck, and the ball fumbled away and loose, and it's going to be a fumble recovered by Wenatchee. It was quite a hit at the point where the tackle was made, and then the recovery by Fadas Nasser. So Fadas with his 2nd turnover of the game. He had an interception in the first half, and now a fumble recovery in the second half. Wenatchee gets the ball back at the Wahai 44.
And just what the Blue Devils did not want to happen is give Wenatchee some great field position, as you mentioned, the 44-yard line here late in the third quarter, give Wenatchee a little bit of momentum heading into that final period.
First at the 44, 12.8 seconds left. Our 3rd turnover make that 5th turnover of the night. Handoff, dive play, and this is Jax Tucker at his first carry of the game. We wondered where he was, and here he is. And he takes it down to the 38-yard line, gain of 6 yards.
He's a hard runner, too. We might even see a little bit of Waterman tonight. C.J. Waterman may come in here at some time, and he's a great inside the guard and tackle runner.
That's the 35th carry for Jax Tucker this season. Out of his 35 carries, he has 5 touchdowns. That's a pretty good percentage right there. We have come to the end of the third quarter, so Becca Freemuth will be happy back at the studios. We'll take a 60-second commercial break, get you back here for the 4th. It's 28-0. The Panthers over the Blue Devils. We're back after this.
What's your auto mocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate Frappuccino.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha Frappitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
28-0 Wenatchee over Wahai as we get ready for the start of the fourth quarter. Let's go back and look at that replay of the turnover by Wahai. We're trying to find out who made that hit for the Wenatchee Panthers. It was a stick on the man who returned, or who got the reception. And then it was Ashbeck on the reception. And then he was just waylaid by Wenatchee Panthers. That ball came loose and then recovered by Fadas Nasser. as we have action underway here, and a tackle going to be made for a loss on the play. And that was, it was Nasser who made the hit and the recovery. How about that? So Nasser on the hit and the recovery. Meanwhile, a loss on the running play here as we had live action by Jax Tucker. So what he gained on his first carry, he lost 4 of it on his second carry. Back to the 43-yard line. So 3rd and 9 coming up for the Panthers. Need to get to the 34 of Wahai. By the way, score for you for Eastmont and Moses Lake. All Wildcats, 35-0. Turn, fake the handoff. Sermon rolling left, looking downfield and throwing too high for his intended receiver. Incomplete pass again as Sermon visits with his head coach, Scott Devereaux, here on the near side. Looks like the Panthers going to punt the football away.
That might be the first pass where Sermon has rolled to his left that he didn't complete the pass. A little bit high that time, but he has been money rolling across his body like that.
The one touchdown pass going the other way certainly was when he found Coons in the end zone. Was the last touchdown, in fact, for Wenatchee right before half. So Fadas Nasser again to punt the ball away for the Panthers. No, he's going to keep it. Fadas Nasser saw a gap on the right side and got the first down. Nasser saw his opening on the right side, only one defender over there, and so he kept it, ran it, and got a first down on the play. First down for the Panthers. And how about Fadas Nasser on his night, as he has an interception and a return to the 1, forced that fumble and recovered it, and now converts on a fake punt.
And he's not going to be a star when we talk about stats at the end of the game, Eric, but he has done all the little things to make the Panthers or help the Panthers with his 28-0 lead.
Sermon again out there for the Panthers offense, and he'll clap his hands, get the pass from center, throws out in the flat, and Jax Tucker has a lot of room over there. Up the sideline he goes, but then cuts back into traffic. Going to be dumped down at the 28-yard line. Again, the man who we've called his name a lot tonight, Jamal Mangarero, comes up with the stop.
He has been on a lot of plays, hasn't he?
They've headed to the fourth quarter in Moses Lake with Eastmont on top, 35-0. As Wenatchee still leads this one 28-0. Sermon on a 2nd and 5. Wants to throw again, getting pressure, and now going to go down on the play as getting through. They've gotten through and gotten some pressure on him several times tonight, but this time getting all the way through. Cody Rasmussen with a big sack on the play, all the way back to the 40-yard line.
Boy, 8-yard, 9-yard loss on that play.
Well, they were at the 21, so that's a 13-yard loss.
It is.
So 3rd down and 20 coming up for the Panthers. You don't have too many of these plays in your playbook. Carlson splits out wide to the right. Bowles and Jelsing wide left, and they're going to set up a screen pass. The ball picked away, though, and Walla coming back the other way on the return after the interception by Heston Richmond. Richmond smelled out that little screen pass they were trying to set back up over the middle, and he picks it off and will have it to the Panther 38-yard line.
And Sermon didn't even see him there. The screen was set up nicely. They let the penetration come. The defensive lineman you let through. It was set up nicely for Blauman. I don't think Sermon saw the defender.
So it seems every time that one team has turned the ball over, the other team turns it right back to them. As Walla will have the football with 9:18 to go here in the game at the Wenatchee 38-yard line going in. So Keldon Swant wants to go for it all. Why not? Down the field he goes, looking for his big receiver, and incomplete. No penalty flag down. There was some hand play going on as McKelvey was down there, but pretty good coverage downfield that time for the Wenatchee Panthers. And Fadas Nasser again on the coverage with over-the-top help from Sebastian Esquivel.
What a game for Nasser defensively and on special teams. He's done it all.
You can find Nasser out there. He's got the pink top to his socks. 2nd and 10 for the Blue Devils. Low snap,
Blitz.
Back to pressure, and again, just going to throw it and get rid of it and get away from the oncoming wave of purple. As Lloyd Hammer was in smelling a sack, so was Ronan Haynes on that play. It'll bring up 3rd down.
And Eamon Haugen from his defensive line or defensive back position also in there on the corner blitz, putting pressure on Swanton. He's seen a lot of it tonight.
Well, did the Dodgers score?
Oh, I better check.
They had 2 on in the bottom of the 9th inning, and a game tied at 1 in Game 3 of the World Series at Dodger Stadium tonight.
Bottom of the 10th, 1-1 still.
Wow, how about that? Not for lack of drama, that is for sure. Trips left on a 3rd and 10. Wenatchee cheating up. Here they come on the blitz. Rolling to his left is Swant. Going to be hit and tackled down. And oh my gosh, I don't know if Swant's going to get back up. After that hit from the blind side, coming in on the tackle, Jaden Christofferson, and the quarterback is injured on that play. Oh my goodness.
He has put on a couple of big hits tonight, and that looked like it hurt. Loss of 11 on that sack, and Swan is slow to get up.
He could have been called for helmet to helmet there on that play, as Christofferson lined up outside the end on the left side of the defense, and he came back from the weak side, the blind side of the quarterback, Keldon Swant, and Swant, feeling the pressure, turned back into him, and just as he turned back into him, here came Jaden Christofferson, putting his 5'10", 190-pound senior body right into the body of number 7 for the Walleye Blue Devils, and Swant, only at 150 pounds, takes the brunt of that hit right there.
I think he might have got the wind knocked out of him there, but what a hit right at midfield.
Well, we hope it's not a concussion, but that certainly is the concern right now as they get him up to his feet, and I don't think he knows what county he's in right now. That was just a wicked hit, and honestly could have been helmet-to-helmet contact call. But the hit came away from the head referee, Dennis Brandstetter, so he could not see it. It will be a 4th down coming up, and the loss on the play, 10 yards back to the 48-yard line. So the Blue Devils just continue to have their struggles offensively. Esquivel will be back to return the punt, standing at his own 10-yard line on a 4th and 20 for the Blue Devils. McCalvey inside his 40. Here comes pressure, almost getting to the punt, and blocking it were the Panthers, and the ball fumbled in the backfield on the return, and it's going to be recovered by Walla. My goodness. Back at the 10-yard line, I believe it wasn't Nasser back there. It was
Dalton Thomas,
Dalton
I think.
Thomas, who couldn't handle it.
He just misjudged it, Eric. It was like a fly ball for an outfielder that just kind of drifted over his head a little bit. By that time, he knew it was too late, but he shouldn't have got his hands on it.
So recovered by Walla, and they'll have their best field position by far of the night at the 10-yard line. So we'll just continue the drive, basically, for the Blue Devils with 8:31 to go here in the game. 28-0 defense pitching a shutout right now, but that's in danger as they'll have to bring in their backup quarterback. And I can't see his number right now. They're going to hand it off to Wick. Wick turns right, puts on the Jets, and dances into the end zone for the touchdown. So Ryan Martuscelli comes in, the backup quarterback, hands the ball off once, and they score. So Wick on the 10-yard touchdown run.
I'm glad to see him get a touchdown. I really am. He has had a rough night tonight. It gets him into positive figures now finally for the night.
He's going to go home to mom and dad, and they're going to say, well, how was the game? And he's going to say, I keep seeing purple. I don't know why. Poor kid. 28-6. The Blue Devils going to try to tack on the extra point here. Seamus Hall out to kick out of the hold of Martuscelli. A high snap, and the kick away, and it goes straight up and then straight back down. And I guess officially that will be short.
A little short.
We'll take a 60-second break and come back. 8:24 to go in this one. Walleyes on the board, 28-6. They trail the Panthers. You're watching Wenatchee football on the NCWLIFE channel.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel. Brought to you by One Way Construction, premier custom home builders and construction company for North Central Washington, including general contracting, framing, concrete, and consulting services. OneWayConstructionNW.com. The Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service, located at 1205 Walnut Street, Wenatchee. TheFireplaceGuy.net. And Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
I would.
Welcome back to Lee-Bofto Field of the Apple Bowl. The Blue Devils have scored and now trail Wenatchee 28-6. And looks like the Hens team might be out there for Wenatchee right now, expecting possibly an onside kick from Seamus Hall as he's got it teed up at the 40-yard line. And here comes the kick. It's a pooch kick that will hit and then be picked up by Wenatchee, and then retreating and then looking for a way up the far sideline. There he goes across midfield on the return, I believe, for the Panthers. Picking it up was Jax Tucker.
Great run, patience on that sideline, and just enough room to make something happen.
It was Tucker on the return as he returned himself a little bit, about 3-4 yards, and then turned it upfield and found he had a little room up the sideline, and a good return will put the Wenatchee ball at the 36 of Walla.
And maybe this Panther offense will wake up a little bit here in the second half, Eric. 189 yards in the first half. So far here in the second half, 35 yards.
Wow. That will not be acceptable for the coaching staff, that is for sure. Bulls will split as the slot man to the right here. Under center this time is Camden Sermon. He'll turn, hand it off, and I think it's Tucker running back there, not Blauman. We'll have to see once they unstack the whole crew. And I believe it is Tucker on the carry as he'll get maybe 2 yards inside the 35 to about the 34-yard line. No, they'll put the ball down at the 35, so a gain of just a yard on first down. Goodness. Second down, 9 coming up for the Panthers. Ball center of the hash marks at the 35, going in after a good kickoff return by Jax Tucker, who stands a couple of yards behind Sermon. Here comes the defense cheating up. They'll hand it off to Tucker. Tucker again is going to be caught from behind and drugged down as Jamal Mangarero, one of the first Blue Devils to get there, along with Cody Rasmussen. Those two guys have had a long night defensively, but a pretty successful night.
They really
for the
have.
Devils.
And now the Blue Devils keying in on the run game for the Panthers. Great time with Sermon under center, little play action with Tucker through the middle, and throw it to somebody downfield.
Well, that somebody could be a Darius Carlson who splits out wide to the far side of the field or to the near side towards our cameras on the right here on this 3rd down and 9 for the Panthers. Ball just outside the 35. No, they're going to be, no, they fake the handoff, but then Sermon right in the backfield going to be taken down for a huge loss on the play. Colby Turner rode him down along with Cody Rasmussen, and a great play by the Walla defense. They'll give his forward progress stopped at the 46-yard line. Loss of 10 yards brings up 4th down.
Well, they did what I thought they would do, little play action to Tucker up the middle, but Walla not biting at all on that play.
So the Blue Devils defense is certainly stiffened here in the second half. And a good pass to Fadas Nasser. Good punt this time. Spiral will come down at the 11. They'll try to do a fake return or fake handoff and then caught back inside the 5 and driven back into the end zone on the return there was James Moore, and maybe he should have handed that ball off to Wick.
That cost him about another 5 yards, just the attempt at that reverse. And now Walla deep in Wenatchee territory, deep in their own end.
5-yard line is where this series will start with 6:04 to go here in the football game. Well, the Blue Devils scored on their last possession, going 4 plays and 38 yards, and well, make that 5 plays as Wick ran it in from 10 yards out after a fumbled punt, and the Blue Devils on the board missed the extra point. Is that Swant back in there? No, I think they're going to stay with Marta Shelley. And a handoff to Wick, and I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage. Loss of 1 on the play. So Ryan Marticelli, the 5'7", 150-pound sophomore backup quarterback, is in. Swant is over on the bench on the sideline nearest our cameras.
He's shaken up.
Yeah, he I think is definitely in the concussion protocol, holding his head right now. That just was a wicked hit. Yeah, absolutely, because youngster's got a long future ahead of him and don't need to be having any problems with that. Panthers cheating up the middle, handoff to Wick, and look out, he's got a gap to the 10, 15, he's got one man to beat to the 30, and then finally ridden out of bounds on the sidelines at about the 37-yard line. Well, you cheat up the middle like that and gamble and come with everybody, and all they need is a gap to get through.
About a 34-yard gain for Wick there when he hadn't had hardly any yards rushing. I don't know if it's that many. It's close to 34 yards, and a nice run by Wick. He showed his quickness there, Eric. He looked like he was quick early. He just hasn't had the chance to really prove anything tonight.
32 officially on the carry, out to the 36-yard line. 5:15 to go. Well, Wahai showing a little life here with their backup quarterback in, Ryan Marticelli. Offensive line doing a little better job of blocking here against that Panther defense. Marticelli 5 yards deep here in the shotgun. Two receivers right. Wants to roll that way. Looking, has pressure, throws down the ball. Picked off. Darius Carlson coming back the other way. Stops, waits for a block, and then is knocked out of bounds at the 24. Third interception of the night for the Panther defense.
That was an easy one for Carlson there, right to him, and he wanted the end zone on that run back. Cut it back in, nowhere to go, and out of bounds. Great field position now for the Panthers.
Darius Carlson with his 4th interception of the season. The 3rd interception by the Panther defense of the night. And as I said a while back, you can almost put the plug in the jug on this one.
Especially if the Panthers score here.
First down at the 24 of Wahai with 5:06 to go here in the game. Sermon back, looks right, throws right. The ball is caught down there at the 5-yard line. Great job leading the receiver. And I want to say that's Carlson with the reception. And Darius Carlson, little extracurricular trying to get himself untied for the man who made the tackle. The tackle made by Ashbeck. But how about that gain down to the 5-yard line?
20-yard pass there from Sermon to Carlson. Carlson's 2nd catch of this second half.
Carlson again will split out wide to the near side, far side right. And back to pass. Sermon looking his way again. Throws the ball underthrown, though, and incomplete as it skips off the surface. Pressure again by Rasmussen, who's been living in the backfield for Walla Walla in the second half.
He has put some great pressure on Sermon. You're right. I've been impressed by this Blue Devil defense. They have played really well tonight.
Our broadcast brought to you in part by One Way Construction, premier custom home builders and construction company for North Central Washington, including general contracting, framing, concrete, and consultation services. Online at onewayconstructionnw.com. Here come the Panthers, 2nd down and goal from the 5-yard line, trying to cash in on yet another turnover here in this ball game. Sermon back, looks left, throws left. The ball is caught by Tucker, and he will take it into the end zone. 5-yard touchdown pass from Camden Sermon to Jax Tucker, and they extend the lead 34-6.
Well-designed play once again. A perfect play for really when you're inside the 5-yard line. The Panthers have the athletes to pull that off, and a nice throw and catch.
So they cash in on another interception. That's only our 2nd score of this second half. As Wenatchee led at 28-0 at halftime, the Blue Devils cashed in on a fumbled punt and scored from 10 yards out earlier. Now Fadas Nasser will try to tack on the extra point, and that kick is up and good. We'll take a 60-second break and come back with 4:38 to go. Wenatchee's opened up a 35-6 lead over Wahai. You're watching Wenatchee Panther football on the NCWLIFE channel.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel. It's brought to you in part by the Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service. Located at 1205 Walnut Street in Wenatchee, thefireplaceguy.net. Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home. And the Windmill Restaurant, providing traditional steakhouse meals in a homey, old-fashioned dining room. Call 509-665-9529.
Hey everyone, so today I'm tackling medical assistant ninja, trying to get that next level career. Man, this dead-end job is holding me back. Decision time, I'm going charter college. Now I'm a medical assistant student. Rocking it? Yeah, earned the President's Award. Score! Took my career to the next level. Hey, I can level up to medical assistant ninja, so can you. Get on it.
35-6 our score with 4:38 to go following the interception by Carlson. The three-play 24-yard drive capped off by a Sermon to Tucker pass. Extra point makes it 35-6 with 4:38 left here in the ballgame. Final for Moses Lake tonight, Eastmont 35, Moses Lake nothing. So the Wildcats remain unbeaten in Big 9 play, and that sets up the battle for the league championship next week right here at Lee Bofto Field.
How fun is that going to be?
How about that? Fadas Nasser, high end-over-end kick. The lineman wanted to take it again. Wick fakes the handoff. Now it's going to tuck behind some white jerseys, dance around across the 25, and then be corralled there at the 27. Nasser put his arm in there and kind of thought better of it now as he was a little shaken up on the play. So first down for Walla Walla, 4:28 to go here in regulation, as the Blue Devils will have it at the 28 of Walla Walla. Join us on our postgame show. We're going to try to get Camden Sermon and Fadas Nasser to join us on the postgame show here on the NCWLIFE channel. You want to head down here in a couple of minutes and get set up. I'll try to grab those two guys after they do their huddle on the field. Here's a handoff, and it's left side, and the handoff goes to James Moore, and he'll gallop across it about 5 yards or so on the first down play out to the 33-yard line. Will be 5 yards there. Our broadcast brought to you by the Windmill, a time-tested restaurant providing traditional steakhouse meals and a homey old-fashioned dining room, open 7 days a week, 4:30 to 9. Call 509-665-9529. Marta Shelley hands off again. It is Moore on the carry, and Moore dropped for a loss on the play as Eamon Haugen comes up for a stop. How about the linebacking play for Wenatchee tonight?
They have been all over this field. The defensive line, great penetration, and that's really where it all starts. It allows those linebackers to get in there and make all these tackles they made tonight.
If you're the Blue Devils, I think you want to start greasing up the sand inside that hourglass and try to get this time to wind a little faster here. You've lost your quarterback tonight. Running back has just had a tough time all night long. He did find the end zone, the only score of the night for the Blue Devils. Now their backup quarterback, Marta Shelley, facing a 3rd down and 7. Back to pass, looking left all the way, throwing the ball, nearly picked off again for Wenatchee. Skying up and trying to come up with that one for the Panthers was Haugen. Eamon was looking for his first interception of the season. It'll bring up 4th down from the 32 and stops the clock on the incomplete pass at 3:07 to go. Again, McCalvey will come in to punt the ball away, and Dalton Thomas would like to write his name after fumbling the last punt that came to him away. Standing inside his own 35-yard line. And almost getting to the punt again was Wenatchee. And this one's going to go off the side of the foot of the punter out of bounds. So one of his shortest kicks of the night will set Wenatchee up with a 1st down, as the official will come up the sideline and confer with Dennis Brandstetter, and he will say right there at the 43-yard line. Well, Grant, if you want to head down.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Okay. I'll handle the rest of the broadcast from up here. Grant Olson going to head down to our camera location down on the field in the end zone. We'll get the lights all set up for our postgame show and hopefully be able to corral Camden Sermon and Fadas Nasser. And join us here on the postgame show on the NCWLIFE channel. Nasser with a fumble force and recovery and interception tonight. Good night for Fadas Nasser. Back to pass goes Sermon. Wants to throw a screen pass, but he's going to be tackled for a big loss on the play, all the way back to around the 30-yard line. Again, Rasmussen, who's had a heck of a game tonight here for Walla Walla, going to drop him at the 31. Loss of 12 yards for Camden Sermon. So certainly offensive issues for Wenatchee here in the second half, although they haven't really had to do much. But had they, this could be a different outcome tonight. So I know the coaching staff not going to be thrilled about the offensive performance here in the second half. 2:20 left in the game, 35-6, Panthers on top. Sermon gets a snap, throws out to the right. The ball caught over there by Carlson, has blockers in front, but look at that. Range of motion for Cody Rasmussen, gets out there on the wide receiver and makes the tackle across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Gain of 5 yards on the pass play out the flat to Darius Carlson. Again, final score tonight in Moses Lake, Eastmont 35-6 or 35-0 over Moses Lake. This one is a 35-6 contest, so that is going to be very interesting next week with a bridge of sportsmanship. Sermon back to pass, heaving it downfield. This one's up for grabs, and it's going to fall incomplete. It touched the hands of McKelvey, and J.J. Jelsing a little shaken up on the play, diving down. Meanwhile, also on the ground near him is Jackson Bowles, as they both were in the vicinity. Ball falls incomplete, and it'll be a 4th down for Wenatchee. So Sermon's numbers not being helped here by incomplete passes. And with 1:28 to go, looks like Wallheye's going to get the football back at one more time. Fadas Nasser also on a faked punt conversion on a 4th down tonight. So quite a night for Fadas Nasser. Late substitution as Mario Murillo comes in for Wenatchee, and now we're going to have to get a timeout taken. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Charter College. Charter Types Find Solutions. Are you a charter type? They work to get you to work. Call 509-415-3576 for Charter College in East Wenatchee. Also by Walkabout Grill, where eating out is eating healthy in downtown Wenatchee and downtown Leavenworth. Appreciate you joining us here on our broadcast on Local Tel Channel 12, on Charter Channel 19, and also on the stream tonight on NCWLIFE.com. Appreciate those that have tuned in from down in the Walla Walla area. The town's so nice, they named it twice. Actually, I love that area. Spent 5 years working in the Tri-Cities and trying to get to Walla Walla as much as I possibly could. Fantastic wine country. Welcome to the Blue Devil fans. They'll watch this one on the stream, and tough night for your Devils, that's for sure. Snap back to Fadas Nasser. High wobbly punt taken. I think it hit the return man, one of the men that was blocking there, and they're going to throw a flag for not giving the return man enough room. We're going to have to look at this one. The back jump was right there on the play. Ball was recovered by Walla Walla, but one of the protectors, Caleb Pearson, was blocking, and looked to me like he blocked a Panther into the return man. So what are we going to have? They're going to take it back to the previous spot and make Wenatchee punt it over again. So it was James Moore that recovered that loose ball back there after Wick was trying to return the punt, or at least make a fair catch, but Wenatchee ran into him. But again, I think he was blocked into him by Caleb Pearson. Nonetheless, penalty against the Panthers. That's one thing they're not going to be too happy about, as that is another penalty, 71 yards unofficially on 9 penalties on the night. This punt short. Wick's going to take it at the 48, call for a fair catch right there, and he will collect it in with 1:14 to go in this one. So we'll see if Walla Walla wants to try to get on the scoreboard one more time. Coming up this weekend on the NCWLIFE channel, Davis and Wenatchee girls soccer coming your way tomorrow at 2. That'll be followed at 7 o'clock by Ike and Eastmont football, that game from last Friday here on the NCWLIFE channel. That's coming up tomorrow. Sunday, hockey, Alberni Valley and Wenatchee Wild from last year. Also West Kelowna and Wenatchee Wild from last year as well. That's at 2 and at 7 on Sunday, right here on your local TV station, NCWLIFE channel. Marta Shelley has pressure in the backfield, gets away from one man, but won't get away from the rest of the swarm of purple jerseys as they take him down, and the clock continues to wind here with just about a minute to go. Walla Walla will have to snap the ball one more time. They'll be kind and give him a gain of a yard to the 49 here. Again, be sure and hang on for our post-game show. Heading down to the field, we'll try to get Camden Sermon and Fadas Nasser to join us here on the post-game on the NCWLIFE channel. Defense again, great job for Wenatchee all night long. 3 interceptions on the night, one of those by Fadas. Here's a handoff to Wick, dancing around the left side, spun around finally and dropped at the 45 of Wenatchee. Gain of 6 yards for Wick on that carry. And 20 seconds left, and I think Wahai is just going to let this clock run down here. Maybe Marta Shelley's going to try to run one more play. They have timeouts in their bank, not going to use it here. 10 seconds, 9, and he'll get the snap from center with 8 with 7. And fake the handoff. Marta Shelley running left and going to be taken out of bounds on the far side with 2.4 seconds left. He did get the first down, it would appear here, as they'll put him out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Faked the handoff and ran his way over on the far sideline. So Grant Olson is going to start off our post-game show down at the field and give you some stats on this one. As I see Grant still writing down some numbers down there, so we'll try to get you all the stats for this game. Not a great half offensively in the second half for Wenatchee, but a stellar job by the defense all night long. Pass by Marticelli, throws over the middle of the field. The ball tipped and almost picked off, and that'll be the final play of the game as the Wenatchee Panthers win on homecoming night in their non-league contest here over the Walla Walla Blue Devils. 35-6 is our final score here tonight as Wenatchee outscores Wahai 14-0 in the first quarter, 14-0 in the second quarter to lead it 28-0. It would stay 28-0 through the third, and they tack on another touchdown in the fourth to answer back the only score of the night by Wahai, and would go away for the win tonight by a score of 35-6. So the Panthers improve to 6-3 overall, 4-1 in Big 9 play, and you always want to win your homecoming game to have a happy weekend and a happy dance. And that is what Wenatchee does tonight. We'll take a break and come back. Your post-game show comes your way next here on the NCWLIFE channel.
You don't want to see this happen. It's the oil light on your car. Oil is the lube of life for your car's engine. At Alignment Pros and Express Lube, they pour the best oil your car deserves. Expect fast, superior service in a clean environment. They'll change your oil and perform a 21-point inspection while you enjoy the comfort of their amazing waiting room. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Hi, I'm Kevin Prosser, and this is my print shop, Color Effects in Cashmere. Color Effects offers screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing on t-shirts, jerseys, bags, banners, signs, and more. With 30 years experience, you won't be disappointed with the quality and quick turnaround times you will get at more than a fair price. Please call Color FX.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel. Brought to you by One Way Construction, premier custom home builders and construction company for North Central Washington, including general contracting, framing, concrete, and consulting services. OneWayConstructionNW.com. The Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service, located at 1205 Walla Street, Wenatchee. TheFireplaceGuy.net. And Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
Welcome back to the post-game show here on the NCWLIFE channel, where you just watched the Wenatchee Panthers defeat the Walla Walla Blue Devils by a final of 35-6, and it was a dominating performance by the Panthers, especially on offense. Unofficially, 238 yards total in the game for the Panthers, compared to 32 total yards for Walla Walla. Walla Walla minus 31 yards rushing in this ball game. The Panther defense was lights out, but you got to give some props to the Walla Walla defense too. They played great. Turnovers hurt them. The Panthers converted almost every turnover tonight in this game into points, and that's what good teams do. So it was a dominating performance. Once again, 236 yards total for the Panthers unofficially to 32 total yards for the Walla Walla Blue Devils. And boy, that set up a big game here next Friday as the Eastmont Wildcats come in, and this could be for the Big 9 championships. As our post-game show continues, we will have sophomore quarterback Camden Sermon as our show continues right after this. Stay with us.
Hello, and what is up? Welcome to Career Shift Business Edition. I've got three choices: certificate, associates, and bachelor's. I'm going associates. And I'm enrolled. Stay alert, this game moves pretty fast. Whoa, exams almost did me in. I'm back on track and picking up speed. And I'm in the home stretch. Degree complete, and I'm ready to go to work. Charter helped me make that career shift. Your turn.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel. It's brought to you in part by the Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service. Located at 1205 Walnut Street in Wenatchee, TheFireplaceGuy.net. Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home. And the Windmill Restaurant, providing traditional steakhouse meals in a homey, old-fashioned dining room. Call 509-665-9529.
Können Sie mir das Problem sagen?
Meinen Zylinder überschwingt. Flute, ich habe mein Fugen verloren.
Keine Sorge.
Global Car Care. We speak your car's language.
Fragen schließen. Hey, you.
Well, I got a leaky transmission, my head gasket's shot, and I could use some new brake pads.
That dog don't hunt.
Global Car Care. We speak your car or truck's language.
What's your automocha emergency?
It's a Frapita mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate Frapita.
Definitely espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
Where will you be a year from now? You could be working as a medical assistant. The Charter College Medical Assistant Certificate Program gets you work ready in 10 months. Add 5 more months to earn an associate degree. We prepare you with hands-on training and support you after graduation with job search help and interview skills. Institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, Charter has been training healthcare professionals for more than 30 years. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Thanks for watching sports on the NCWLIFE channel, brought to you by One Way Construction, premier custom home builders and construction company for North Central Washington, including general contracting, framing, concrete, and consulting services. OneWayConstructionNW.com. The Fireplace Guys, Central Washington's most trusted names in fireplace and barbecue sales, installation, and service, located at 1205 Walla Street, Wenatchee. TheFireplaceGuy.net. And Beneficial In-Home Care, your compassionate in-home care provider. All the benefits of assisted living while remaining within the comfort of your own home.
Choose the pros, alignment pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
Welcome back here on the postgame show on the NCWLIFE channel as the Wenatchee Panthers win on homecoming night 35-6 over the Walla Blue Devils. We're joined by Scott Devereaux, Camden Sermon, and Fadis Nasser here on the postgame show. And Camden was just asking for his numbers. We had you 14 of 25 for 186 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Camden, talk about, first of all, coming back from last week. I know that was a disappointing game for you guys. And then focusing here on homecoming night tonight.
Well, there's a lot of, obviously, distractions, like you said earlier in the week. Coaches hate homecoming week because of Buff Puff and Powder Puff and all these things. But really, I did some self-scouting after Sunnyside, and I was scrambling when I shouldn't have been. So really, I really focused this week on just really going through my progressions, seeing the reads, and to try to stay in the pocket a little bit more and make those throws I needed to make.
I know I was talking to your coach about a lot of film study Sunday right after that game was over. Scott, talk about your quarterback tonight, and I know your defense helped out a great deal in setting you up with short field position.
Played well tonight. We did not block very well for him tonight. We had some miscues with the offensive line, and so Camden had to do a little bit of running. But when he had time, he made some throws, and he actually scrambled well and made some nice passes on the run. So, you know, some stuff to fix, but overall for him, pretty good night.
Let's talk again. We'll get to Fadis here in just a moment. But having a guy like Riley Coons out there and such a big target and such soft hands, I mean, how is that for you as a quarterback?
Well, I mean, even if I'm not throwing to him, he's such a big target that he's drawing 3 other dudes with him, so that it opens up the other parts of the field. But there was a play. It's kind of a play action pass seems, and the safety just boom right to him. I threw to Darius. They got a pass interference call, and that's awesome. I mean, if I hit him, that's great because he can truck dudes. But if he's not open, there's 2-3 guys on him, and there's other people open.
Well, talking about trucking some dudes, Mr. Fadis Nasser with a strip and then fumble recovery after a pass play. First, let's go back to the interception before that. I mean, what a night for you, young man. Talk about your defense and how much pride you put in what you guys were able to do in that first half.
Well, my defense is always on point, so I give them that. But we always watch film. Like, we're always on it. Like, every time we go out before a game, we're always on our film. So I give my defense the credit because they're disciplined. So I give them that. And the hard hitting, number 18 and number 10 just kept saying, hit me harder, hit me harder. So I just kept hitting harder.
Now, I had a hard time seeing it from our TV broadcast perspective. Was that fumble that you got on the sideline in front of their bench? Was that a helmet? Was that what happened to get that bar?
Fist that went right through his arm, and I just punched it out and got on top of it.
Just like you coach it, right?
Yep, yeah, it's one of our drills.
That's fantastic. Well, 3 interceptions for your defense tonight. I know things in the second half didn't go so well for you offensively, had a few problems there, but I mean, you build a 28-0 lead against a team that's kind of struggled this year, and you kind of had to feel going into halftime, homecoming, and with everything else going on, pretty comfortable.
Yeah, and offensively we knew they struggled all season, so we knew we could play pretty fast against them, and you know, that's what we do, and we didn't do anything different tonight on defense. We pretty much did our base stuff.
Well, that base stuff, though, you seem to be living in their backfield quite a bit tonight as you knocked their quarterback literally out of the game. 22 didn't have a lot of running room when he did get the ball back there. I mean, your defense, just especially the guys up front, linebacker play, I thought was really good tonight as well.
Yeah, we stepped up. You know, the guys played well. I mean, I can't complain about anything on defense. You know, we gave up the one screen for 20-some yards and a fake punt, and those are their 2 best plays, really.
Well, you have the opportunity next week to play for at least a tie for the regular season championship. Eastmont won tonight in Moses Lake 35-0. So here we go. We can now talk about what's coming up next week.
I'm looking forward to it. That's what sports is about, right? Competitive moment. One game left for the championship. That's how it's supposed to be, you know. So I look forward to it, and I look forward to see how my team responds.
I have one more question for you guys. How much pressure do you get? Because I know homecoming, you got the dance and all that stuff, that you guys had to win, or else the dance is just gonna not be so good.
Well, I mean, last year freshman football we lost to Moses Lake, and I didn't smile much at homecoming, so that was a bad taste in my mouth. But really, these seniors haven't won a homecoming game. That was our first win in a homecoming game, so we played for them. And I know Fadas came from Eastmont, but he knows, and I felt really good to get that win from him.
Talk about that, Fadas.
My boys on defense and offense really wanted this W tonight, because a lot of the guys here haven't really had a chance to take a dub on homecoming night. So I'm just glad they get to have that experience.
Well, the dub on the helmet, the dub on the scoreboard, 35-6. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
There you go. That's going to wrap it up here from Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl, where the Wenatchee Panthers celebrate homecoming with a victory over the Wahai Blue Devils, 35-6. And that sets up a very interesting matchup next week in the Bridge of Sportsmanship. On behalf of Grant Olson, for Marion Grandstrom, for Tucker Wagner, for Dan Kuntz, also for Becca Freemuth back in the studios, Jessica Medina, and Colson Crawford, I'm Eric Grandstrom. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching High School Sports on the NCWLIFE channel. Tonight's broadcast was brought to you by Alignment Pros, Automoca, Color FX, Global Car Care, One Way Construction, and the Windmill Restaurant. NCWLIFE channel's coverage is also brought to you by Charter College and the Walkabout Grill. This concludes today's coverage of high school sports on your home for local sports, the NCWLIFE channel.